Pretty sure I wanted to set my output video rate to. There we go. So, Slime, you there?
Yes.
All right. And Lazy, are you there? No?
I'm alive.
All right, cool. And we are back with another live stream, and this should fill in with people quickly. I am going to start getting the links and sending those out.
All right.
Looks like we're successfully connected over on our end.
Hello, chat. Hello.
We're back.
Chat, put one in the chat if you like pizza toppings.
Let me
Do
know
not spam
if there's
chat.
let me know if there is a stream stuttering issue. I updated my software. I changed the bit rate. I think we should be pretty golden.
Should be. I mean, you seeming to be running pretty good right now on my end. It looks like, because I can see chat and you're not stuttering as bad as you used to be. So
Slime and Lazy are loud. Really? Maybe that's
I can
on
understand
purpose.
me being loud because it's me. I could just turn myself down here and
No,
Discord.
I'm gonna level you. You're good.
Okay, do it.
He's gonna level you.
All right.
Do it.
And
Cool.
now you guys were like peeking into like the red area, and now you guys are staying consistently within the yellow, so we're good. It is.
You're doing
Wait
something I've
until I
never
put
heard
my
of. which is
base booster on.
leveling. You're doing something I've never ever considered, TCR. You're doing audio leveling. Whoa.
No need to be self-deprecate here. Appreciate you guys coming in chat. Recently, we're just going to be talking about some more recent stuff with YouTube. Just kind of having a candid conversation about the recent privacy complaints I've been receiving repeatedly on the same video and on some of my recent live streams. These privacy complaints have been perpetuated by just one individual. His name is Plagued Moth. If you guys have watched the Plagued Moth video, then you probably are pretty up to speed on why the guy's mad at me. But I feel like there's a greater conversation that we can have about this, mainly with the issues of the efficacies of privacy complaining and like DMCAing and what exactly that is used for. Because I've noticed more and more people on your Twitter, YouTube, and in the comments don't really seem to quite understand exactly what these tools are for and how exactly they're being abused in this situation right here. Oh, also, Spindling will be coming and joining us. The people who have been recently affected by these complaints are me, Lazy, Slimebeast, and Spindling here, to varying degrees. Although, it should be noted that the only person who's had a video taken down as a result of these unsubstantiated claims is Lazy.
Lazy, this is the part where you say, "That's me."
On cue.
I wasn't aware we were on script.
There's no script. It's just a candid
We've been
conversation.
rehearsing this for years.
Going on, and then there's me that's got like a loading screen in her brain right now.
Yeah, so Lazy,
agree.
would you like to talk about some of the lengths you went to make sure that the video would be acceptable and that the people involved and those who weren't were protected from a privacy standpoint?
Sure, of course. So initially when I made my first video on Plague Moth, and this was it's almost been a year now. Jesus. Feels like it's been crazy year. I feel like just because I got involved with this whole thing that this year has been going progressively longer. It just feels like it never ended. But in terms of the first video I did where I got in touch with you, I tried to get in touch with Moth. Obviously that didn't happen. I didn't censor very much, but I did try to edit his footage excessively enough that it would be at least undergrounds of fair use and copyright. Now, interestingly enough, my first video I ever did on Playing Moth never had any copyright issues, which I was expecting, but it never ended up really happening, which I thought was weird. For some reason, my 2-part series, The Cult of Plague Moth, got privacy complained. Now, I will say this, like, in some degree, it's kind of my own fault because I don't, for one, I don't check my Gmail very often. I check my business email that's like not connected to my YouTube, so that's kind of on me. But also, YouTube sent the privacy complaint to my spam folder, so I didn't get to see it anyways, which kind of sucked. So part 1 of that series got taken down because I didn't respond to the privacy complaint within a matter of 48 hours because I didn't get to see it because it was in my spam. But the other thing that I need to point out is how stupid this privacy complaint is, because within my Cult of Plague Moth series, during the editing, Spindling's video came out, and he started getting copyright up the wazoo because every time Plague Moth's face appeared, it's like using his footage, so he tries to copyright the whole video. So I was like, I'm not gonna give this man a chance in all hell. So when I released that series, at least on YouTube, it's all uncensored on my Patreon, but like once I released it on YouTube, I literally covered up Plague Moth's face with a little drawing I made of him to cover his face throughout the entirety of the thing. You don't see like Plague Moth's face once. What they ended up getting me on was like, there's like segments in part 1 that like is me investigating the Ripper stuff. And I do like little animations using his face, and that is what he got me on. Not me using any of his footage, me using and editing a singular fucking picture of his face. That's what got me. And I'm like, why though? Like, what the fuck?
It should be noted that Plague Moth is a public figure with over 430,000 subscribers whose main income comes from him watching people get gored. So,
Get gored.
you know, I think that there's definitely some hypocrisy going on when, you know, he lays out all these outlandish claims about us working with child predators, being child predators, and, like, you know, defending, like, pedophilia. And then, like, when we try to respond to that, when we literally just, like, go like, hey, no, that's not the situation. Here's our evidence. Here's what you said. Here's what we were responding to. Here's why we said it. That those videos are now under scrutiny of getting privacy complainted because Moth will literally, like, show, like, go through the whole video and then put a little bit of a note or privacy, like you know, when you get a privacy complaint, YouTube sends you an email that shows you the exact timestamps that the privacy complaint are coming from. YouTube will automatically send this email out regardless if they have reviewed it or not. They're not saying, hey, you have to change this. They're just saying that you got a privacy complaint. This is the area that it's happening. We're giving you 48 hours to try to make the video compliant before our review team takes a look at it. So in my situation, I got the first, I think the first privacy complaint was when I had that footage of Moth with his wife. I just took that from publicly available sources, from videos that are still up on their channel right now. And I was just explaining that him and his wife were accusing me of being manipulative around certain DMs. In response, I leaked those DMs to explain exactly what was in them and why there wasn't anything manipulative going on and why I responded in the way that I do, because they like to cut context and not really provide the full sort of situation. Since I've uploaded this video like 5-6 months ago, I have received approximately 5 to 6 privacy complaints on them, claiming everything from the front page of Kiwi Farms to like every instance that Plagued Moth has shown up, to every instance of me showing a DM, to every instance of the entire video, because at one point he was claiming my intro, my own face, and stuff where I was just talking directly into the camera.
Yeah, and I feel like, see, here's the thing, like, I understand that public figures, right, to an extent, deserve privacy, right? We say that Plague Moth is
like,
a
I don't
huge
have the
content
right
creator.
to leak his address, and I don't
Obviously
have the
not.
right to, like, talk about certain members of his extended family, but I do have the right to address the very pointed and specific claims he's making about me and my conduct online.
Yeah, publicly. And it's like, if I were like talking about Plague Moth and constantly using like his real legal name, telling people where he lived, then I would understand the privacy complaint.
Yeah,
But I
like,
shit you not, dude, my videos don't even show his face because I drew a little cartoon thing to cover it. And I didn't even do that for privacy. I did that for copyright because I was like, no way in hell is this guy getting any sort of copyright thing. Like, that's
Yeah,
crazy.
and the thing is too is that when I went to complain to YouTube about it, their response to me was, "Hey, you should file a privacy complaint in response, because if he's using your image, then I guess you have the right to do it too." And I'm like, do we really want to exist on a fucking YouTube where like us like content creators are so thin-skinned that like a criticism video of you like needs to be privacy complainted? Like, I
That's
don't
really
know.
what they suggested?
Yeah, well, to be fair, I don't think I talked to a real human who ever understood the context. I said privacy complaint, and then it gave me the thing that sent me to how to file a privacy complaint. So, and every instance of me trying to talk to like YouTube and their like automated systems has just been, hey, you should privacy complaint Plague Moth's videos, because if you're saying that he's showing up there, calling you a pedophile, using your face when they do it, then that's technically against our TOS. And I'm like, I don't want to do that because that's
Right.
lame.
Also-
I'm a free speech guy. I think that he should be allowed to call me mean names on the internet and without necessarily having the powers that be get involved. I only like take umbrage when I defend myself. These people abuse the very same systems that they rely on for their income in order to try to silence anyone talking about their stuff.
Yeah, and like, it, even someone as small as I am, right? I'm not like you big dogs here. If fucking Plague Moth wants to use my face that's publicly available, that I've been having publicly available for years now on his fucking channel, that's fine. I don't give a shit. I don't think fighting fire with fire is necessarily really what we should be doing.
It's not what the YouTube system really needs. Because
and there's plenty of things on Plague Moth's channel that are already in violation of their TOS anyway. So why the fuck would they suggest just like firing back with the same fucking abuse that he's been using when he's already openly doing a bunch of stuff that's against TOS anyway that we could report him on instead? That would actually be following the rules.
Right. By the way,
worth
Somber
pointing out.
Reads, appreciate you with the $2.
Probably me.
Thank you. I am staying positive. But I feel like this is just one of those situations that we can talk about. Because the privacy complaining has kind of gotten ridiculous since the last time I spoke to you about this. So ridiculous that I broke my promise not to talk about this anymore, because it's putting the integrity of not only my channel at stake, but my friends. So, as the person with the biggest subscriber count talking about this, might as well, bury the hatchet and actually, like, I don't know, stop this.
I wasn't even gonna come out publicly about the privacy complaint thing. The only reason I came out publicly again about this, because I was pretty much all over it, was when Plague Moth was taking videos of my TikToks and then splicing them in with Gore, so that was fun, and then attempted to dox us both. So that was great.
Yeah, he did spam like Gore at people on Twitter. That's part of why he was like getting repeatedly banned, is because he was like sending people Funky Town, and like I don't know what the hell this guy's problem is, because like he'll act like he's this like mental health advocate who really like cares about people, and when you hear him say that, he does sound genuine when he's talking about it in that moment. But then you go on Twitter, and if he doesn't like you, or if you called him out for selling uncensored gore, he'll just start going like, oh, kill yourself, I hope you die, here, transphobic language, how dare you attack me.
It's worth pointing out that part of what you said earlier was when you said he privacy complainted a screenshot of Kiwi Farms. It's worth pointing out that the reason he did that, supposedly in his own language, was that his docs information is on Kiwi Farms somewhere. So showing the front page, he privacy complainted it. It's like, that's in no way something that would ever realistically be legitimate to somebody.
I didn't even want to bring up Kiwi Farms. Moth was the one who brought up Kiwi Farms first. You see,
yeah, because he was saying that we were all Kiwi Farms users for some reason.
He was saying that all of my evidence was literally stolen from Kiwi Farms, and that everything I did, like, I didn't take myself. I was never in the Discord server, all that stuff. So, like, I had to,
this was explained to him too. Like on that Turkey Tom live stream, he directly told to his face, you cannot file privacy complaints for X, Y, and Z. And he was like, oh wow, I didn't know that. Okay, I didn't know that. Never knew that. Here he is again, months after that stream, doing it again. He knows that this is, not appropriate.
Yeah. Also, Damos Z, thank you for the $2. I appreciate the sentiment, but I'm going to do my best not to be intentionally disparaging.
Nah, they right.
I mean,
I mean, you're
a little bit, but I'm not gonna say it. And Redosaurus says, since Eric from Scare Theater liked your past video about Plague Moth, why not ask him for help? Listen, I'm gonna be real with you guys. The kind of intention that Plague Moth invites is not the kind of thing that you really want to deal with. YouTube has been very resistant into making Plague Moth do anything, right? Like even though he has filed one false DMCA that YouTube personally stepped in, said was bullshit and that he needs to stop, he's also filed 5 privacy complaints against the same video, all of which were either rejected or overturned with some minor censoring. Followed by him filing 7 privacy complaints against Slime Beast. Didn't he also DMCA
that actually
that
grew
clip?
to 11, by the way.
11 privacy complaints. Again, this is like all done in the past like couple of weeks. You know, like this is like very recent stuff that we're talking about here. And then he got Lazy's video taken down, and then he also privacy complainted the hell out of Spindling's channel. I'm pretty sure they rejected them, didn't they?
They rejected the first 2.
Did the third one go through? Is there a third one, or
The third one hasn't gotten a response yet.
all right, yeah. So, as far as I'm aware, Savax is not joining. I did not invite him on this one because he isn't an affected party in this. But to go back to the point I was trying to make before I got lost was when it comes to like larger creators, the reason why a lot of them aren't like talking about it openly is because Moth is a weirdo who will cyberstalk people. I like did my thing like a year ago, and the guy, I mean, like if you look at his wife's Twitter, because he doesn't have his own, but if you look at his wife's Twitter, literally every other post is about me. And when I'm like, hey, can you help me deal with this? It's like, do I want, like, one, TCR has already documented all this stuff. Am I going to be able to make these platforms deal with them? And the answer is most likely no. Behind the scenes, people have been very much willing to help me. But putting their own head on the chopping block is a little bit hard when we're dealing with someone who openly engages in doxing behavior. Because if you're a large creator who normally covers things from a distance, all of a sudden having a guy who goes for every little sort of thing and tries to make it public, tries to leak out people's information, works with people who do doxing, it's like you don't want to be publicly on the firing block. Now, I'm already in the line of fire. No matter what I do, ignore him, address him, talk about it, not talk about it, this guy's going to call me a pedophile, and he's going to repeatedly file false legal claims against my channel, and he's going to act like he doesn't understand what any of that means, because his ultimate goal is to hope that he can catch YouTube sleeping one day and get me like a false strike or copyright claim. Because that's just what he does. Like he's been doing this.
His own videos begin with a disclaimer, where he says at the beginning of his videos in text, fair use says that I can use this image for review, or this content for review and critique and blah blah blah, education, so on. So he has a disclaimer on his own videos stating that he knows how this works. He knows how this works. It's just after the fact he's begging for forgiveness instead of permission. After everything is said and done, he says, I had no idea. I guess I did, I guess that wasn't right, but I had no idea.
Like
there's only so many times you can do that before, obviously it's not true.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, it's most certainly not true. At least, especially after the Turkey Tom video. Because with the Turkey Tom video, Turkey Tom directly addressed Moth and told him, hey, this is not what privacy complaints are used for. Like, unless if he was, like, leaking your address, that's literally, like, you can't do that because, what people don't understand is that when you become a public figure, when your whole job, income, when everything you do is a matter of public spectacle, you are no longer a private individual, and your image, likeness, and all that stuff can be reposted without your permission. I'm not like a 40-year-old mother on Facebook who's like having random images taken from her and then be made fun of online. No, like I'm a dude. I show up in videos, I show up in advertisements, I go to events in person, and Moth, like, again, is a person of public importance, someone who uploads videos on Gore and all these other horrible things and makes hundreds of thousands of views to the point where he has nearly 500,000 followers. So I really don't understand how his face, my DMs, my Twitter, all of a sudden violate his privacy.
And just to expand on the last point that we were going on about like other YouTubers helping us, you guys have to understand too, and this is just coming from somebody who is an outsider who decided to make videos on this stuff, talking about this stuff all the time makes you go insane. And I would rather not have some other big YouTuber also go fucking crazy. Because, like, on top of just being cyber stalked all the time, this guy is nuts. Like, he makes no sense. He's, like, inconsistent. He says things that he forgets he says. And, like, having to document every single contradiction makes you kind of want to die. So, the last thing I want to do is go to some bigger YouTuber and be like, please help me with this crazy guy so that I don't lose my shit. And it's like, it already happened. It's already gonna happen.
Just so you guys are aware, Leo was one of the people who helped me edit the original script for the Plague Moth video. So yeah, Leo Convoy isn't his biggest fan.
Well, I mean, who is honestly his biggest fan? Because doesn't he like call it a pedophile every week?
Yeah, nah,
I love Plague Moth.
Every one of us here apparently is like a pedophile too. Hey, Slime Beast, since I let Lazy tell her story, would you like to explain like everything that's happened with you, like just, you know, off the cuff?
Well, that's interesting. I'll try to keep it brief. The interesting thing is I got DMCAs and privacy strikes from Plagued Moth for showing his face when responding to his videos. And that was several months ago. And now again, even though those were dismissed by YouTube, all of them, even though they were overturned, he has just taken another bite at the apple. He's just trying again, seeing if he can get like a YouTube staff member on a bad day when they're not paying attention and just saying, you know, fuck it, I'm gonna take down every report that comes in. So he's just trying again, seeing if he can get somebody to not pay attention and put it through. And he filed 11 privacy complaints against my videos in one day. And all 11 were overturned by YouTube. And these were things like showing his face on screen in a video where he's talking about me and making false allegations while he's showing my face on screen. So it just makes absolutely no sense. There's absolutely no room for him to say he doesn't know what he's doing at this point. You know, it's insane how many timestamps this dude put in those reports. Like, I got one of them that had like 10 to 20 timestamps because he was going through the video and putting in a timestamp for every single time his face appeared on screen at all. And if you're going to put a video up on your own channel, people have a right to respond to it. Sorry, people can put your fucking face in the video. And I'm not sure if I'm supposed to curse.
You can,
but I did.
Lazy's cursed like so many times. Any hope to have that green dollar sign is gone.
Yeah, but when it comes out of me,
I don't really
it sounds more threatening.
You know. Yeah, that's true. You do.
Oopsie daisy.
Do I still want to lawyer up? The answer to that question is yes. I am just merely looking for the best person to represent me. It is hard to find a lawyer that will take a case like this, mainly because defamation, slander, and all that kind of stuff is usually fought between corporations talking about each other. When you're talking about an individual who claims that he is literally judgment-proof, lawyers who are looking to get paid are less likely to take on the case, even if you are willing to foot the cost. The whole thing that I'm trying to do is figure out how much it's going to cost, figure out what I need to do to obtain the funding, and then see what will happen first. Will Plague Moth stop and leave me alone? Or will I find a lawyer willing to take the case and actually begin litigation? I mean, I really don't have any other choice because YouTube isn't necessarily following through with their policies. For example, after I complained for like the third time on Twitter that I was getting privacy complained by the same guy, they said, "We assure you that people who abuse those systems will be deleted and terminated for violating those abuse systems." However, even though these things were repeatedly rejected on the same video that he failed the copyright strike down, he is still going at it and nothing's happening. So I'm basically trying to do what I need to do so that I can keep running my YouTube channel, my business, without fear of it having like just randomly being taken down someday because someone at YouTube isn't like quite paying attention to Plague Moth's bullshit. I mean, what else would you have me do? Like, every form of support has kind of failed, and no one really wants to, like, step in and make YouTube do it. I've talked to a YouTube rep, and we're, like, kind of making progress on that front, but, I mean, like, it's been slow.
I mean, if it makes anybody feel any better, you know, it's not like this is a win on his part. Like, once your fucking video came out, his sub count took a nosedive. Like, you butchered him. So like, even if your video isn't up theoretically or can't remain up, it doesn't matter. Everybody knows what this guy is now.
Yeah, but the thing is that I need my video to remain up because Plague Moth made a lot of serious allegations against me. And it's like, I deserve the right to defend myself. Even if you don't agree with what I have to say, I have a right to have a defense. And apparently Plague Moth is pro-free speech, but only his speech. Everyone else can go fuck themselves. Who cares
if you
about
don't have your video?
Like, what happens when Plague Moth finds someone who's just as bad as him and he starts calling him a pedophile, and then that guy starts filing privacy complaints and DMCAs against Moth, and then they just start doing that to it. Yeah, like, literal, like, same Scorched Earth tactics. Like, I don't care if my YouTube channel's deleted. I bet Moth doesn't really care either because he's not making any money off of it. So, I mean, there's probably a reason why he doesn't care that these systems are being abused, but I don't know.
Plus, he's got so many backup channels at this point that even if his main one goes down, he'll just migrate to his backups, and YouTube won't consider that ban evasion, and they won't give a shit.
Yeah, when he was terminated, he was also ban evading, but you know, that's neither here nor there. Wolfie with $5 says, Plague Moth sounds like Creepshow art and Illuminati when it comes to cyber stalking. And the answer to that question is, yeah, like, to a fucking T. You know, I mean, except he doesn't have the money to hire, like, actual lawyers. He'll just, like, you know, send a cease and desist and then not understand that that is a legal threat. Like, in the live stream that Moth did recently, I think it was titled, Some Pedophile is Trying to Sue Me. Moth, like, goes, like, God, I forgot the point I was trying to make. But
well, he was basically just going off on you. Like, obviously, it was directed towards you, clearly, and it's because he was like filing the privacy compliance. And like, once you get to that point, you can take it to a legal front, whether or not it's a violation of your privacy or not. So, you know, stuff like that. It's where it's just like, okay, so this guy has every right to. Let's get this straight. He has every right to abuse the systems at play that YouTube has set in place that can count into legalities like privacy violations, and he can defame me. But when I try to actually use the systems at play to defend myself, you get fucking crickets. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's with like yesterday, right? Was it yesterday or was it like the day before? Yeah, he made that live stream just like going off on me, and to be honest, if I were to go through that whole stream, we'd be here for fucking hours, because like
we'd be more suicidal than we actually are. Like, it'd just be...
He'll just say something, right? And there's just like, the only thing that you can say in response is, well, I never said that, and I didn't make that claim, so everything he said about this topic is wrong, because I wasn't saying that.
Right.
And yeah, that's not great. I know that he's like found some shit that's like, I want to say 5 or 6 years old right now, and it's me saying some unflattering stuff on a live stream that I did, like, I want to say, like I said, way back in the day. And
how old were you at the time?
I think I was like 18, maybe like just turned 19. I had literally just moved out of my parents' house. I had been like kind of like chugging that anti-woke culture shit, like quartering stuff like that. And, you know, I don't know. Long story short, I got some really bad opinions and bad arguments from some really dumb YouTubers. I tried to regurgitate them on like a small-ass live stream, and Leo Convoy put me in my place, and I have since changed my opinion. Long
I
story,
mean,
that's all that there is to say there. Like, you know, it's just a small
yeah,
live stream between friends. Moth
yeah,
found it
been there,
Meanwhile-
after
done that, you
months
know.
of research and took a
Meanwhile, at the
9-second
same
clip
age-
out of content text.
I mean, that's why I
Meanwhile,
had to kind of address that myself too, because like I used to be in the anti-SJW circles, making bad arguments myself. That if there, and I don't think any of that remains anymore because it was all in video format. But God forbid if Plague Moth ever finds it and tries to like say you said this shit, and I'm like, well, yeah, I did, because I was a brainwashed teenager, like literally not even like 18 like you were. I was 16, 17. So like I've been doing YouTube since I was a kid. Every single mistake I've ever made could totally be used against me, which is why I, you know, addressing it now before it like gets used to like pummel my ass is easier than like just pretending it didn't happen. Plus, you know, we are of the front, especially UTCR, that people are allowed to change. If Plague Moth just said, look, I fucked up, I didn't handle my Discord server correctly, I will correct that in the future, and then also change up my content because it's not profitable on YouTube or whatever, and just went on to make like, you know, more informative shit, no one would really have a problem with him. But it's the fact that he just keeps doubling down on the fact that his Discord server's just fine and safe, and his videos are totally not traumatizing and totally don't fuck up his audience, and his audience is like a happy, fun time place that doesn't, you know, try to dox people and harass them, and the fact that he just thinks everything is fine when it's not.
Yep. I mean, Slime Beast, you were trying to say something too?
Yeah, I mean, just to tell a little bit of a story very quickly, there's that whole thing where Moth is actually in violation of the terms of service of YouTube, going back to where we were talking about how YouTube won't do anything about jack shit, you know, regarding him. You know, just to read everybody here from, you know, YouTube's support page in the terms of service, it says, note that we do not allow the following kinds of content, even if there is educational, documentary, scientific, or artistic context provided. First one is, of course, violent essay, video imagery, or audio, which, of course, you know, obviously. Second one applies to Moth. Footage filmed by the perpetrator during a deadly or major violent event in which weapons, violence, or injured victims are visible or audible. So that means that when Plague Moth puts up a video of somebody torturing someone to death, or flaying somebody, cutting somebody's head open, or stomping somebody to death, or whatever it may be, when you have the audio available, that is in violation of terms of service. We reported this to YouTube. TCR and I both were on Twitter talking to Team YouTube, like, why the fuck is this, you know, going on? Why are you letting this happen?
And then they just age restricted it.
They age restricted his video and said, there you go. Dusted their hands off. We took care of it. And it's like, you do not understand your own terms of service. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, because something like that would just result in like the video getting taken down in a strike or something. That would not result in an age restriction.
Yeah,
like
and
I understand.
we gotta remember that in order for Moth's content to exist, there needs to be a very high level of freedom of speech, and this is someone who just does not believe in freedom of speech.
Well, clearly not. If they're going to be utilizing the systems at hand to do, of all things, privacy complaints, despite them being a public figure. If that's what they have to do in order to like get all of this content removed of all the terrible shit that they did, maybe he's not an actual component of freedom of speech, like he says.
Again,
it's almost like everything he tries to portray himself as a lie.
I don't understand like what his goal is with all this, because like we have his own admins admitting that the Gore was there. We have a screenshot of when he deleted the room. We have it timestamped to the day when he live streamed, showing that screenshot, showing that, you know, it's like, to give you an idea of how stupid this guy is, right? He had a Gore, he had a room called Super Secret Video Room. There's Gore in there, right? Like it links to BitChute videos where he reacted to uncensored Gore videos, which you could only get access to through a Patreon donation. And he deleted that, and then like the same day live streamed himself showing his Discord server, like, hey, look, this never existed. Right. And then he changed his story to, well, after I got nuked from Patreon. I moved it on to the Discord server, but then quickly took it off with no like real
Right.
timestamp of like when that was taken off or what's going on there. It's just
Not to mention, like, even if he claims this was back in 2021, I was having it on there, but then I briefly took it off. The fact that he thought that that was a good idea in the first place is really bad, considering that he admits that before he even put it on the Discord, before he even put it on from his Patreon to his Discord was already full of kids, and he even said in the very first live stream addressing your accusations that, well, there were already kids in the community, but I didn't want to boot them out of my community. And it's like, why though? If your intention is to use the Patreon or the Discord as a Patreon only Discord to access your uncensored material, those kids shouldn't be there to begin with. They shouldn't have been there, considering that he had a bunch of OnlyFans like promos up there. And I guess it doesn't really matter, considering that like those were 18 plus like servers or whatever. But even then, if the moderators are self-admitting that like a bunch of kids were in there and like age verification does not work the way that Moth claims it does, then like it doesn't even fucking matter at this point whether or not he put that shit in an 18 plus only server. It's like
it's not an 18 plus only server.
Well, no, not the server itself, the room, like the actual room where the OnlyFans promotions were in.
Right.
Sorry, I'm not using proper Discord terms. The Discord room that he had where OnlyFans content was being promoted, that room itself was 18 plus, where you have to allegedly get age verified. But considering that we have a whole bunch of like moderators themselves that like are just like, it wasn't as moderated specifically age-wise.
Well, I mean,
like,
I've read a lot of the chat myself because I got it archived. And the main thing is that like, yeah, the chat is moderated, and yeah, weirdos did like get nailed.
Yeah.
But like the thing is that like, you have Moth talking about how like another kid, like an actual other minor, should get like aborted in front of like kids who are like, I just got home from school. And like, it's less about, are these kids like actually being properly vetted as minors? Yeah, no, they are self-admitted minors. And for the most part, Moth is like making it so that, they don't exactly have access to everything. But at the same time, he is letting self-admitted minors hang out on a server dedicated to a YouTuber who's primarily known for covering Gore and cartel executions. And the kind of people that watch that, it's just not exactly a community that in any situation a minor needs to be involved in.
Right. You might want to put the sub view count or whatever to subscriber only, just because there's some weirdos in chat.
Okay.
Just it's only like a couple of them, but like,
There's
that,
more weirdos than usual. There's the bad weirdos and there's the good weirdos.
Using that, hiding that person.
I'm trying to figure out how to set it to sub.
Yeah, you probably should. I mean, Spindling's probably on it just because they're a moderator, but
yeah, I'm on it.
If you know how to do it, feel free.
Well, you'll have to make it subscriber only mode, but
do you know?
Yeah,
how
I
to?
think if you're the host, that you have to put it in subscriber only. Yeah. I think the mods can only just hide users.
I appreciate that. I don't necessarily know how to do that. Right.
That was a really cool name. Like.
Cool. Give me 1 second. Time to Google how to set something to subscriber only mode and who's set to sub only mode.
The war has just begun. This guy's
go to live
awesome.
control from your live stream. No.
The war has just begun.
God.
I mean, you guys see what we're talking about, right? Anytime it's either Plague Moth stalking us or his fucking crazy fan base.
Yeah.
It's a cult. It's a cult. I would like to also point out too that like when me and TCR,
they definitely do.
When me and TCR almost got like our attempted doxes got released or whatever. I say attempted because they weren't even remotely close. But when that happened, Plague Moth Andrea publicly sort of addressed it and said, "Yo, don't do that half-assedly." I'd say, in my opinion. But Plague Moth never addressed that publicly anywhere. He just kind of said it in his private Discord, like, "Yo, we don't support that crazy shit." And it's like, what do you like? Hell, you do. Like the amount of people I think fucking Plague Moth has attempted to just like use the private information of like just blatantly using TCR's name publicly, using my name, which I mean that's public information anyways, but like using like our real names outside of our usernames to intimidate us. I mean, to be fair, it's not like we're any different because we say his full legal name, at least Slimebeast does. I tried to avoid doing that because I think it's low and I think it's stupid, but like
What,
it's
Dylan
out
Morgan?
there.
Yeah.
I mean, all of our names are technically publicly out there anyway, but like the point is,
don't forget to go to Dilmo.com. Guys, if you want to know about the Plague Moth situation, go to www.dilmo.com. You'll find a playlist of videos.
DILLMO.com.
DILLMO.com. Don't forget to go to Dilmo.com to find out all the horrible things this man has done in the last year. Just the last year.
go to the lazy Patreon to watch the Cult of Plague Moth, an exclusive Patreon only. I can't even do it. It's such cringe.
Yeah. I mean, this guy will go after people's loved ones. Going after my mother, going after people's significant others, things like that. So he can go fuck himself.
Yeah, like I mean, we don't.
Dylan Morgan.
Like, listen, all of our names and stuff, right, are like to some capacity publicly accessible, right? And Plague Moth likes to say, well, I don't support doxing. Meanwhile, fucking not just using like our private names outside of our screen names, which are already public, but fucking going after my boyfriend who's not a public figure, going after your mother, going after just like people who are not involved in the situation, who are our private loved ones. Like, it's like, the fuck, you don't support this crazy shit. Like, I don't believe that for a second.
Yeah, it's all hypocrisy and projection.
I
it's
pinned the Dilmo.com to our
I love that you were able to like make it a hyperlink to like your fucking videos. That's so funny.
Dilmo sounds like a slur.
It kind of does.
It's
yeah.
Like when this here's the thing with Plague Moth, everything is always to the 10th degree, right? Like I can't just say Plague Moth's privacy complaining and filing false DMCAs while making like shitty comments about me. It's always TCR and his friends are working with Ripper, who's a evil dark web predator. He and his friend Christopher Wolf is going around attacking people, and they're like doxing them and targeting their children like my wife. Like it's never just like, hey, this guy did something bad, let's talk about it. It's always like we're bringing it back to pedophilia. We're bringing it back to
like conspiracy brain.
It's like that like Mama Mac style of over dramatization. Like he's hoping that the cool voice and editing kind of makes you forget the fact that
cool voice.
We're making a video on a pedophile.
Hello, everyone.
Get this motherfucker's address.
Man, you guys don't even like. I'm not even trying to give this guy compliments, and you guys are like, "You're going too far, man. He doesn't deserve it."
I'm sorry.
I just want to thank
maybe we're the problem.
I would like to thank the Bunny Gathering for €2. We do appreciate the donos.
Euros.
Yeah,
is that real? Is that real money? What is that? Spindling, can you confirm?
Slimebeast.
Confirm what? What's happening?
Are euros real?
Euro? Oh, we don't use euros.
So they're not real. Thank you for clarifying.
By the way, ColdRaven, if you're watching this, check your damn Discord. We would appreciate that. So yeah,
it's an IP grabber. Don't check.
So to quickly go back to the Plague Moth like children in the Discord sort of thing. I want it to be known that after like my video and after a lot of conservative effort from me and Slimebeast and as well as his own mod team, we eventually convinced Plague Moth that having a server full of minors might not necessarily be the best idea. So he has since removed them. Many of them have come forward and reached out to me to let me know that being inside that culty like place has been horrible, and getting like out has been a rather good experience. So I am quite happy with how that turned out. However, Moth will go on about how I have a public Discord server and then say that I talk inappropriately about round minors, while he himself are openly talking about killing people, talking about killing himself, talking about
Having
gore
his dildo
videos.
collection,
Literally, he made one of those people. I'm not going to say their name, but if you do a little bit of research, you'll be able to figure this out. But one of those people, one of those minors who was under the age of 16, 15, was even a mod. They had their own mod status. It was called a mini mod, and they were allowed to throw people out and moderate the general chat. And some of those people would say things like, "Man, I would like to R-word your open neck hole," followed by getting banned. And it's
Awesome.
you're introducing these children to a situation where they have to moderate adults who say things like that to children.
it's just not a safe situation to be in. That's just not a safe Discord. The way that he set it up and be you have to verify your age for OnlyFans shit, but not for the other stuff, considering the things that we talk about on my YouTube channel. It's just a recipe for disaster. I don't see how the hell he didn't see this coming.
Yeah.
Yo.
Yo, who's
Oh.
here?
It was Bobbin.
Yo,
He's here.
Yo,
He's
what's
here,
up?
everybody. Our secret
Yeah.
weapon.
So we got
go ahead.
well, I wouldn't call him a secret weapon. I would just say that he's Plague Moth's worst nightmare.
I love this for him.
So essentially, here's what I'm gonna do. I hope that everybody just mutes their mic so I can kind of get my words in. So
Go off, King.
essentially, here's what I want to say. I feel like there's a lot of misconstruing and a lot of bullshit being peddled. And for some reason, throughout this time and throughout these issues going on, I see my name come up a lot. Even though I was off of YouTube for a year straight, during this time of me being away from YouTube for an entire year, yes, 365 days of me being away from YouTube, I don't know what has overcome this guy, but he decided to keep bringing up my name and trying to keep me relevant inside of his little hate circle, because he does have a hate circle, and he did say a lot of shit about me that is full of just straight, bullshit. And during that time, it was just egregious to be homeless at that time, to be struggling financially, and to not have a roof over my head. And then I finally get internet access to see this is what he's saying to me, because one thing that I don't get why it's never clicked with him is that we have a very tight mutual audience. His people watch my videos and my people watch his videos. So when he goes out there and he goes into a stream with 100 to 200 people and he takes digs at me and he talks shit to me, I don't understand why he believes it'll never come back to me. And then he's even went offline to say in his Discord, you can screenshot that and send it to ColdRaven if you want. But then when it does come back to me and I say something about it, essentially it goes into the full victimhood, into the he's being attacked. Because what he likes to do is he likes to separate who he is, and he wears multiple masks. How he acts on Twitter and how he acts on Reddit is not how he acts on his YouTube channel. And this is very, very clear. Now, I'm not even gonna joke, gigabytes and so much shit against him that I'm trying to sit down and talk to him about it. Moth, I know for a fact you're probably watching this. I would rather, even though you have said so much shit about me in the past, the man that I am, and you've openly stated this multiple times on how I have so much integrity and how you look up to me in that aspect, that I have a very good unbiased opinion on people, and no matter what, things just don't quite stifle me, that I'm still willing to be unbiased towards you and to sit down and have that private conversation with you to kind of get an idea of where your head's at. No matter what, no matter how much dirt and grime and filth you have shoveled upon me, I'm still trying to be the bigger man and sit down with you and to talk with you. But now here comes the problem. Moth, true or false, I have sent you multiple DMs on Discord trying to get a hold of you. You've added me back on Discord. I sent you an entire paragraph saying, Yellow, looking into this, I want to put this to rest. Let's talk, because again, the way it was handled on the Turkey time stream, I was not a big fan. I want to sit down and talk to you and TCR and Slime Beast and get this shit over with. You probably looked at it, but you did add me back on Discord. I then went into your community post and I said, yo, we got to talk about this because, again, when you're caught up in some shit, like I've said, we have a mutual audience. So when you weaponize your audience, guess what happens? You're weaponizing my audience. So guess what happens? They come to me about the shit you're being accused of, and they're sending me screenshots of you performing and saying and doing, and they're sending me clips that you have in your live stream saying incredibly disgusting things that, again, instead of going public with it right off the bat, I have given you the benefit of a doubt of keeping my mouth shut for nearly 2 weeks for you. Think about that. I don't like you, and I don't have to like you. I'm not contracted to like you. I'm not contracted to be your friend. But the fact that I've kept my mouth shut about you for the past 2 weeks, as this shit piles up, and it's spilling onto me, and I'm going out of my way to not go up to you, not once in Discord, not twice in your community post, which I screenshotted, and you said that you would talk to me that night, in which you did not, right? You did not reach out to me that night. And you can go ahead and claim that you're busy, which you are not, because I have screenshots proving that during that time where you were quote unquote busy, you were sitting there typing up a storm in your Discord whilst you were ducking me. And then I reached out to you a third time while you were busy streaming Fortnite. So instead of sitting down and talking about incredibly damning accusations that could possibly stifle your entire career, because these screen recordings, these accusations, all of this stuff is not nice. None of it. A drop of it will end 5 careers. This is incredibly poisonous stuff. But you have sat here in gallons of it for months, and I keep getting piled with it and piled it. And I just want to mind my business. But it's hard for me to mind my fucking business when you keep spilling it over to make it my business. And then you bring up my name in live streams after live stream after live stream. So that's the part that gets me very confused, because you're one of those people where you sit down and you pick a flower and love ColdRaven, love ColdRaven not. Loved ColdRaven, love ColdRaven not. You'll sit there in a live stream completely sing my bells and whistles and tell everybody how I'm an amazing YouTuber and how I inspire you and how you really wouldn't have taken YouTuber seriously without me. And then the exact next stream you'll say, fuck ColdRaven, I can't stand that guy. I can't believe I'm on the same platform with him. And yet, after years of you doing this, and months, I'm still sitting here trying to sit down with you after 3 attempts, trying to sit down and have a civil, private conversation with you. You're not allowing me to do that. So I have to ask you, Moth, if you will not sit down with me and have a private conversation with me when it comes down to all this type of evidence, what do I do with it? You just want me to throw it out the window and just mind my business? Because I can't mind my business because it's my audience. I owe an explanation to my audience, just like you owe an explanation to yours. But you want to sit in your stream and sit there and say, oh, well, just watch my video. Well, I did watch your video and it didn't do its justice. You act like it's some golden crown, and as soon as you watch it, you'll be brainwashed and you went, flawless victory on some Mortal Kombat shit. That is not what happened. Because when I watched your video, I was left with more questions than answers. Every time I watch one of your videos, it's more questions than answers. And I want to sit down and talk to you man to man in private. But you are not affording me this opportunity. So when I have all this shit that you are not willing to explain yourself on, what am I to do? And I saw Lazy Bedhead say in the past that she tried to reach out to you and you ignored her. Then she went public with it. And then what did you do? You then sat there and did egregious things that I will not get into. Behavior me and you do not condone. Behavior that you have outright in multiple videos say you do not condone. And you go ahead and you dabble in the exact behavior you wag your finger at. So it just becomes a very confusing cycle of you saying do not do this, do not do X, Y, and Z, but then you'll conduct X, Y, and Z. So what am I supposed to do? I'm supposed to believe you're a hypocrite. I'm supposed to believe that you make rules for thee and not for me. And you want to go about being a minge and just pissing and shitting on everybody. And I'm just supposed to put up with it as you run my name through the mud. But again, let me make this very, very clear. I'm going to sit down with you in private, whether you like it or not. And if you don't sit down with me in private, I'm going to do what I feel like is necessary. And if you think, if you in your mind think that I'm going to spend the next year going back and forth with you, YouTube video for YouTube video, oh, you are dead fucking wrong. You are so wrong, you would be sorry and crying. Because I've made this very clear. If you have a personal problem with me, you can see me about it. Because I'm done with this YouTube shit. I want to sit in my corner and make my content. That's what I'm here for. And yet, I gave you a scapegoat 2 weeks ago to shut the fuck up and make content. But then you want to go out with the privacy complaints because they are showing you in a not so good light, but they are screenshots. Those videos are nothing more than sharing screenshots of things you have made public. And again, I would rather sit down and talk with you about it and get some good answers out of you. But you're not affording me that opportunity. And let me make myself very clear. We're going to sit down and we're going to talk about it. If you do not do that, and you do not take this final opportunity for me to give you, because let's make this real, I owe you fucking nothing. I don't owe you a damn thing. I owe you nothing. But it's just in my character, and as you said before publicly, I have a lot of integrity. It is in my character to give you this last opportunity. And if you don't want to take it, I'm going to do what I feel like is necessary. And if you have a problem of me doing what I feel like is necessary, trust me, ColdRaven on Instagram, we can see about it. We can see about it. Because I've made this very clear. I even put it on Twitter. I've been looking to fuck up some YouTubers this year. And trust me, if you want to be on this chopping block, I got no problem. Because EDP ducked me. And I'm pretty sure you were sitting around talking about how you would fuck up TCR and you want to play the big bad wolf. You want to go and say you beat up that guy. I want to see about it. Let's see about it. Let's play that tough guy shit. Because again, you want to go ahead and try to intimidate other people, but because I'm an amateur boxer, but because I was an amateur wrestler for 10 years, because I was a kickboxer, now you don't want to play the tough guy shit with me? No, you can't go around and play Billy Badass and talk about how you're going to beat up this guy and you're going to beat up that guy and I'm going to beat this guy up. But then the second the real dog come around who's really about that shit and I'm really licensed to do damage, then it's, oh, well, I'm just going to duck you. No more ducking me. There's no more ducking me. I'm knocking here. I'm knocking at your door. You're going to open up and you're either going to sit down and talk with me or I'm going to do what I feel like is necessary. And I will not sit here and go video for video with you for a year straight. I will set something up because, again, you want to play the tough guy. This is what happens to tough guys. You're going to have to back it up. That's what happens. So the second you go out there on stream talking about how you're going to kick everybody's ass, you're going to fuck up this guy and you was a badass, now you're going to have to back it up. Because I'm calling you out now. Because I don't think you a tough guy. I think you playing pussy right now. That's what I think. And shit, that's a theory. You want to go ahead and test my theory? I don't think so. You don't want to test my theory because I'm really about that shit. Because I'll tell you right now, we can do it tomorrow. We can do it tomorrow. We can do it in a week. We can do it in a month. Hell, yo, we can do it in 3 months. Whenever you feel froggy, jump. Because we are not from the same cloth. We are not. So don't go ahead and start repping some shit you're not about. Cut it out with the tough guy shit because you're not tough. And if you are, ColdRaven on Instagram. And if you come out with the video claiming, I'll reach out to you. I will reach out to you. I will pay for everything out of pocket to make sure this shit gets done. Because I'm tired of this nonsense. Because you want to sit here, start shit, and puke and piss on everything I've worked for and have it spill over to me and think I'm going to sit there? Yeah, I don't think so. That's not what's gonna happen. I'm not gonna sit here twiddling my motherfucking thumbs for the next month straight with my mouth shut as you piss on everything and you exhaust my audience and you weaponize them for some bullshit crusade that is just built in falsehood, because what happens is you can't take criticism because you're too busy sitting on a pretentious high horse and you are a fucking hypocrite above all that. So, let me make this very clear. You're gonna sit down and you're gonna talk to me. This is what you're going to do and you're gonna listen to me. You're going to sit down and talk to me, regardless of how you feel, because how you feel no longer matters, because you've done too much damage to others and disregarded how others feel for too many months to now sit here and, oh, we're going to care how you feel. Fuck that. We're going to sit down. We're going to talk before this week ends. And if you want to sit there and you are dumb enough, God have mercy. God have mercy on you if you jump the gun on me. God have mercy. Because I'm ready for the shit. Whichever route it goes, I'm ready for it. You're not. You sat there in your last streams, your last 2 to 3 streams, just glazing me. Sitting there, I love ColdRaven. I love his content.
ColdRaven,
so
you
great.
made that video recently.
Yeah,
where you were like calling
right.
for a ceasefire. And like when I first saw that, I won't lie, I got mad. I'm like, what the fuck did I do? All I do is exist and get called a pedophile. Like know what I mean?
No, that's exactly what it is.
And then you come and reach out to me. Raven reached out to me and was like, "Can we fix this? Is there anything we can do to like get Moth to stop, like so we can go back to focusing on real content?" And Raven has been attempting to get Moth to talk to us, and he's been completely ducking us. And in these live streams that he's been doing, like since he's publicly retweeted that ceasefire video, since he's been agreeing that all this drama needs to stop, Moth has been repeatedly filing privacy complaints, and on top of that, making live streams where he's calling me, Lazy, Spindling, Slime Beast, a pedophile, while openly ignoring the DMs that ColdRaven has been sending.
Yep, I sent him 3 different DMs. He decided to duck 2 of them, and he replied to one of them saying he will talk to me. I am tired of the ducking. I am tired of the childish games. You are almost 30 years old. I'm in my early 20s. You're almost in your 30s now. Now is the time where we sit down and we talk and this shit gets over with, okay? Because when I said a lot of shit was getting taken out of context, it was more from your party than anybody else's party. And you sit there and you harp on the smallest of things. And it's essentially what you like to do is you grab a little pea of a half-truth. This is what he likes to do. He grabs a half-truth. He stretches it out a mile long as it starts to tear. But then, again, he tries to ignore your entire filing cabinet of shit. Like, one thing that really, really pissed me off was when fucking Plague Moth, you came out here and called Slime Beast a pedo, and you said it's because he liked a picture of Lolly, and then Slime Beast came out and showed that the artist is in her 20s and it was a self-portrait. It's a self-portrait of a woman in her 20s. How was that Lolly? Because the woman is of smaller stature. So now you're going to sit here and body shame women of smaller stature. So if a woman has an A cup or B cup, you're just going to pounce down on her and fucking just shit on her. The woman's in her 20s. It is a self-portrait. A self-portrait. She made it very clear in the post. It's a self-portrait. But you ignore the fact that she said that.
We've told him on Twitter. We told him on Twitter. People have told him on Twitter. Slimebeast has directly made videos that he has downloaded and used in his own content. Like,
yeah, he's aware of all this. He just keeps saying it anyway.
No. Again, ridiculous. And then here's the thing. I'm not afraid to play that game. If he wants to play that game, dude, I will play that game all day. Again, because let me make something very clear. I'm here. EDP is not. I'm here. Burn Show is not. I'm here. Bengal City 224 is not here. I'm here. Steel City 12 is not here. Okay, so if you think this is like my first meet, dude, I've been doing this shit about like what, 5 to 6 to 7 years? I'm here. Those 20 to 30 other YouTubers I got into beef with, they're not here. I am. So there's only one way this is really going to end. And I'm going to tell you right now, this is your last opportunity to sit down and talk to me like a man about shit. Okay? Because there's a lot of stuff we have to go over. And again, I'd rather not make it public. Because it's a lot of egregious shit. And I'd rather get your word and your explanation on things rather than say, fuck it, right to the public. And I don't have to afford you that opportunity. But you sat here and you decide to say, I'm integral and all these great things about me. You give me like the greatest of blessings. But yet again, you will not take my offer to actually vindicate your name. I don't have to vindicate my name. Well, then I don't have to stay silent about all the shit. I don't have to.
In the last
I don't
live
have
stream,
to. I'm not contracted.
In that last live stream that Moth did, the reason why this stream exists is because once again Plague Moth made a live stream forcing me to respond to horrible allegations, but here I am. Yeah, in the last stream he was saying that ColdRaven debunked me, saying that basically I didn't know what a particular Gore film called Snuff R73 is. Isn't that covered in Wendigoon's Iceberg?
Okay, so Wendigoon came out and he said something along the lines of it was an illegal tape, which it is not. It is a tape of children that are, dead, and they're their corpses. And then there's also pictures of dead babies. And then there's also a picture of a baby with a missing leg, well, video. And there's another video of a baby that is disemboweled. It is egregious shit.
And that's one of the videos that Moth was selling. And it was one, and I brought up the fact that there were babies in some of those videos. And in response to that, Moth said that I didn't know what Snuff R73 was, and that I was misinformed.
Yeah, that's bullshit. That's bullshit.
I
From
watched
what-
his reaction to it, so if I got misinformed, it's because he uploaded the wrong footage.
Yeah, that is just bullshit. It was completely right. And another thing I do want to go ahead and say, I'm not the pot calling the kettle black, because I did, and I've been open about this. This is exactly why I left YouTube. It's because I did the same exact thing Moth did, and it was very profitable. What did I do? I fucking did uncensored videos on Patreon. Now here's the thing. Why was I not banned from Patreon, but Patreon gave me a warning instead of just straight up nuking me? Was because I was not uploading shit to the degree he was uploading. I got a warning because I uploaded a video that fell under animal content, where it was people, which I can send you a screenshot of it. It was people running away from Spanish bulls. The bulls were running on top of people. You know what I'm saying? It's running of the bulls in Spain. And I uploaded that because that was found in Fubar and was part of my Fubar review that I did a long time ago. And then that's when Patreon gave me the warning, and during that time, I was trying to collect the entire iceberg, which I got around 80% the way through, 80 to 90%, and I put it under a tier called Shield Your Eyes. I then ended up stopping all processes. I left YouTube for about a month or two after getting rid of all that. I came back, I did a couple of videos, and then I ended off with my MD Pope 1 re-review. I was then going to leave YouTube permanently, and then actually I took a year off and I came back. So I'm more like a year and a half, actually, almost 2 years I took off. But it's just it was about almost 2 years. Holy shit. I took 2 years off of YouTube, damn near. That's, disregarding live streaming. And during that time, I keep hearing my name get thrown around by somebody who does not like me. But then as soon as I come back to YouTube, out of nowhere, he sings my graces. So you gotta understand it like this. When I'm not on YouTube, I'm his worst enemy. When I'm not on YouTube, I'm a piece of shit. When I'm not on YouTube, I'm this horrible guy. Then when I am on YouTube and I start, making videos and I'm getting all these views, out of nowhere, ColdRaven's my inspiration. He makes very good content. You guys should check him out. I love his shit. It's very confusing. Very confusing shit, and I'm not going to keep getting sucked into the confusing little whirlpool that he likes to perpetrate. What I'm going to do is we're going to sit down and we're going to talk about it. I don't care how many times he has to see this. We're going to sit down. I'm going to reach out to you one last time. That's about it, because I'm tired of having to keep my mouth shut on shit that you've done. I'm tired of it. What I want from you is an explanation so I can go the fuck back on my merry way. And you said that in your last live stream, Moth. I have it clipped. You said all you want is for everybody to go back to being content creators. Well, we would all like to do that if you stop privacy complaining and fucking making up bullshit and spreading half-truths. We would all love to do that. I would love to go back to being a content creator if you stop name dropping me 3 to 4 times per fucking stream saying that I would stick up for you and all this other bullshit. Like, no, dude. I'm trying to reach out to you to get your word. That's what I'm trying to do. Because again, I'm not trying to take sides here. But when I go and I sit down with that Creepy Reading, and I took some of the stuff you said about him, and I say, yo, Creepy Reading, explain yourself. And Creepy Reading sits down and explains himself pretty fucking well. And I say, yo, Moth, sit down and explain yourself. I'll talk to you later. Sit down and explain yourself. I'm busy. Sit down and explain yourself. Crickets. Well, now you're ducking me because it's been 2 weeks, and you can't say that you're busy because I have screenshots of you being inside of your Discord and being active, and then you go ahead and blew me off to play Fortnite. So don't sit here and pretend like you're busy. Fortnite is not the most
he blew
busy
you off to play Fortnite and called me a pedophile.
essentially.
Yeah, like if he was just playing Fortnite, that'd be one thing. But he went on stream so that he could continue to perpetuate the same horseshit he has been for 11 months now. And instead of dealing with this, instead of following the advice of the video that you made where you wanted that ceasefire, he's continuing to contribute to it while blaming me for its continuation. I don't know what the fuck to do. I'm both the problem and the cause and also the solution. The thing is that he was making a lot of money on Patreon. And when I reported him, I didn't really care about how much money he was making. I cared that he was advertising, selling uncensored content on of what he purported to be children dying. With the 99 Stomps video, he later went on to say that the 99 Stomps person survived, but I can't find any evidence of that. ColdRaven couldn't find any evidence of that. So it really boils down to the fact that he lies about the Gore footage, he's lying about other people's real lives. And then on top of that, he when he gets called out, all of a sudden there's a cabal of predators ready to kill him.
Here's the thing about that. I looked into the one girl 99 Stomps thing. I couldn't find anything about her surviving. Actually, I found something about her dying. That's what I found. And when I look into it right now, I would just, in case he has, again, and this is how I am. I will always give somebody the benefit of the doubt. Maybe she did survive.
Hey,
Maybe he did.
I'm going to
find
pause you real
something.
quick. ColdRaven at one point did sell uncensored content years ago. He stopped, took a break, and apologized for it. And to be fair, Plague Moth was the reason why he was selling uncensored content. How old were you when this was happening? This was 2 years ago. You're like what? Like 20? You're
No,
like 20, 21?
3 years ago. About 3 years ago, I was about 20 years old. So I'm about to turn 24. It was about 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And you have to keep in mind too that this is a dude
like,
that's
I
like
wouldn't-
10 years your senior. Too.
If Moth wasn't lying about selling the Gore, I wouldn't still be fixated on it. But Moth is lying about selling the Gore. He hasn't apologized, and he is calling me a pedophile instead of taking accountability. Raven knows what he did, knows that it was wrong, fucking stopped, and moved on.
Like, if Raven did the same shit Moth did, then we'd be probably going as hard on Raven as we would
if Moth
Moth.
if he was doing what Moth is doing right now, yeah.
But the fact, and I think we talked about this a little bit, Raven, is that, like, for you, and I need to word myself very carefully because we're live, and I don't want to say the thing that will, but for you, like, you're in your, like, late, like, mid-20s, early 20s. Plague Moth is almost in his 30s. He's, like, got a whole decade on you, and he's making a shit ton of money doing what he was doing. And so you're looking at that, and we all gotta eat. Money is what revolves the world. So, like, he's kind of, after you guys did your little collab the first time, he's kind of like, Corksy, like, look how much money you can make doing this. And so, obviously, for someone
who... didn't Moth convince you to, like, sell that in the first place?
Yes, and then he gave me shout-outs on his YouTube channel. He said that I should do it, and after I did it, he gave me shout-outs on his YouTube channel saying ColdRaven also sells uncensored Gore if you want to check out his Patreon, and I will give you the exact statistics on that. I went from, let me go to earnings. Let me tell you how much was made. I went from, before uncensored content, I was making $697, so let's say $700. I was making $700 before it. Within a month, I went up to $2,500 a month. So essentially, that's 7/14/21, about almost a 4 times revenue upgrade. And then I got my complaint by Patreon, and then I stopped doing it. And then I took my first break from YouTube, came back, and took my second, almost 2-year hiatus away from YouTube.
Yeah.
And I came back and saw my newest video where I talked about the drama, and I said this exactly verbatim. I am not without sin. I have made many, many stupid choices, and I do not stand by them. But I have no problem coming out and admitting that I have fucked up and that I made some very dumb decisions. What I want from Moth is for him to come out and just be like, you know what, guys? I'm sorry for weaponizing my audience. I'm sorry for making these dumb decisions. Can we all move on? But essentially, instead of just taking that route, he would rather just fucking duck, hide, take half-truths, and I swear to fucking Lord, man, I just don't want to believe he would do this. I know he's going to, probably 80 to 90%. If I had to put my money on a horse, he's going to make a video and do a live stream attempting to shit on me. And if he does that, I am letting him know ahead of time. That will be your fucking undoing. I'm letting you know right now. Because I'm ready for that. Trust me, I wouldn't have came out here if I wasn't ready for that. Yeah. And I'm letting you know.
To give you an idea, too, as far as I'm aware, I was told, or I've seen, that Moth stopped offering the uncensored Gore. Now, I've been told that there's another server or something where he's, like, distributing, like, the mixtapes through Google Drive or something like that. I don't know I haven't seen any proof of that, just that, yeah, accusations there, and it should probably be looked into.
Is he currently doing that? No, he's definitely not.
There's too many eyes.
It's kind of scary. That guy's got so many rats in his fucking kitchen. But, like, I mean, I like what you said about that, Raven. Like, none of us, I think, I would say, are without sin. We've all said some stupid shit. We've all done some fucked up things.
Yeah.
But my whole thing is, if your response to credible allegations against you is just to find dirt on the people making the allegations against you, then you've already kind of lost the argument, because it just proves
really
that you
doesn't
can't address them publicly. You can address the fucked up shit you did, right? And I'll always hold you to that, right? I would be a hypocrite if I didn't. But you should be the example of what Moth should have done. He should have taken some time off YouTube. We've been telling him for months, you got to get offline. You're fucking terminally online at this point. And you took that time off.
His wife spent the entirety of Christmas Eve tweeting about me, as opposed to spending it with his family.
Right. And
they spent Christmas Eve tweeting about me, and then they waited till midnight on Christmas night to start tweeting about me again.
Let me answer that right there. Hold on. Hold your thoughts. Yeah, somebody said in chat, sadly, we don't know what's going to happen. Knowing Moth's brain and Raven seeing this, he's going to see it as a betrayal, which is funny because if he does try to take that little betrayal route, Moth, I literally have you recorded admitting that you were talking shit about me for all these years. I also have screenshots of you participating in such things. Also, did you know that deleting a tweet does not delete it? And that when you made those tweets about me, I screenshotted those. I made sure to come here. I am prepared for any avenue you take. And the reason why I'm prepared, because there's about 5 to 6 avenues you can take. But I blocked off all of them except for one. The reason why I did that is because, again, I want to have you sit down and talk to me so we can get this cleared up so you can go about your fucking business. This is what I want from you, because let me make this very clear. I said this in my drama video. I don't want anybody here to go homeless. I don't want anybody here to lose their career because I know what that's like to be homeless. You think I want that from you? No, I don't. As much as I may not like you, being homeless is not something that's fun. Living inside of a display shed at fucking 6 degrees Fahrenheit. That is not fun, especially when you're getting crawled on by rats and you're laying in rat shit. Not exactly a fun experience. So what I'm trying to do is give you this last opportunity. But if you decide not to take it, for whatever reason, if you're just like, yo, fuck it, and you feel like you need to double down again, trust me, dude. Again, there's only one thing waiting for you, okay? And trust me, you're not going to sit there and be able to back yourself out of this corner. Once you corner yourself finally with this last straw, it's pretty much game over. So I'm giving you 2 options. Either you can press the extra life button and continue on your shit, or you can press the game over button. Whichever one you want to press, again, that's your decision. I can't make that decision for you, and I can't convince you. Hell, you probably already made your mind up. You're probably sitting there writing out, and you're going on to your next thing. You probably are. But again, heed my warning.
I wanna open up this, and if anyone wants to clip this, feel free. But I will open an invitation to Plague Moth to talk on my channel. If you want to like actually hash this out in front of an audience with a respectful third-party moderator, I'd be willing to defend myself against any of the accusations you made, because I can prove that you are either misrepresenting, exaggerating, or just completely full of shit. And I'm not really afraid to do that. Like, the thing with Turkey Tom's stream is that Tom wasn't really looking for a debate. He was looking for an interview. I showed up because I wasn't going to let Moth, like, call me a pedophile uncontested, because Turkey Tom just doesn't have the context to combat him and really wasn't about to do that for me. So, of course, I showed up, and of course, I asked if I could say my side, present screenshots, that kind of thing. And you know what? If we can find a third-party moderator who's willing to tell me to shut the fuck up, willing to tell him to shut the fuck up, one at a time, make him address these things and go into detail about how his proof is actually proof and not just him saying shit, which is what it's always been, great. Because I got screenshots of his mods talking shit about him. I got screenshots of him, like, admitting to this stuff. I got screenshots of him selling it. I got screenshots of him refusing to age-restrict videos that contained, you know, babies being slapped. Like, this is a guy who, like, really leaves a huge paper trail, and everything, like, he's terminally online too, in the sense that, like, you know, something bad will happen in his life, and then he'll go to Discord and start bitching about it on Discord, misrepresenting the situation. And then, of course, I got his Discord backed up, so I could just go to all the times he did that and point out how stupid, irresponsible, and horrible he's being. Especially when he's, like, trying to present me as, like, some sort of cult leader Charles Manson type, when all I've done is, you know, make videos. Keep in mind, too, that Moth does think that I do pretty good investigations. I'm going to put that screenshot up now.
Yay.
Here's the thing I do want to say right here. When it comes down to Moth, I've tried to extend that hand, and I said I will be the third-party moderator for you two to hash it out behind the scenes. I've stated that. Again, that's one of the messages he ignored. He ignored that message. I then hit him up on his community post. He responded saying he would talk to me that night. Never did. All he did was add me on Discord. And while he did that, he was busy talking to other people in his Discord about nonsense. Again, I got those screenshots with someone else. And then, on top of that, I tried to reach out to him again whilst he was playing Fortnite. Again. So it's one of those things where I'm convinced he doesn't want this to go away. He wants to keep fighting it, and now he may say, of course I want to keep fighting it, because I'm fighting against pedos! To stuff that's already been disproven. It's been disproven, but it's one of those things where he wants to perpetuate it until he's in the fucking grave and far after. Because essentially, in his head, he said something and he does not want to take it back, because if he takes it back and he says, you know what, I was wrong for saying that, I took this out of context, or I added context to this, it's going to make all this year, 2 years of fighting look fucking pointless, and it's just going to shit on everything he was doing and weaponizing his entire audience. And the fact that I have hundreds of comments every day saying, I used to watch Plague Moth, I don't do it no more. Dude, if you go on Reddit and you look up anything talking about Plague Moth, you'll always see, yeah, I used to watch Plague Moth, now I watch ColdRaven. You see that comment everywhere, and I could just imagine it boils his blood.
I just want to point out too here that according to Plague Moth, he thinks that I do accuse people with evidence. just so you can see on screen, he does know that when I make these videos that like I go really in depth and show evidence, and he agrees with that. That's Plague Moth's words, not mine. You know, I'm not gonna toot my own horn here. I'll let Plague Moth praise me as much as we need to.
I do have to say though, like I think it takes a lot of guts, really, and this isn't me trying to suck your dick, but like I think it takes a lot of guts.
Oh my god, Moth! Stupid creepy reading! You've made me look bad! Ah!
Oh no, it's not creepy reading. That's ColdRaven. It's CR.
Oh my god, you guys are two familiar names.
You know, it works both ways. It works both ways. Stupid ColdRaven! You made me look bad.
Well, I gotta say, as I was saying, not trying to suck anyone's dick, but I think for you, Raven, it takes a lot of guts to come to us, who has been portrayed by, like, the pro-Gore side as, like, not just even pedophiles, but these ravenous people who, like, are obsessed and, like, taking screenshots of everyone and, like, trying to dig dirt, and to come to us and be like, hey, I used to do this shit, but I don't anymore, and I would like to talk shit on the guy who constantly keeps shitting on my career, and I keep getting compared to, right? And it's like, I'm gonna go to the people who are acting like trolls on fucking Twitter and give them my side. And it's like, you didn't have to do that for us, but I do appreciate it, because honestly, go off, King. Because like this whole time when I was muted listening to you go off, I was laughing my ass off. I was like, bro, this is amazing. This has got to be like Moth's worst day of his fucking 2024.
But before hey,
can I answer this one question? Yeah. Somebody said ColdRaven. So are you worried about Plague Moth coming after you? Let me make this very clear. I've said this in over 100 videos. I've been saying this since 2019. If you're not going to come up to me and knock me the fuck out, I'm not worried about you. Because essentially, that's where it's going to go. It's going to get physical. And I'm not sitting here making a threat. I'm making a promise that we will try to set up a boxing event or a mixed martial arts event if it gets to that point. I have no problem doing that. This is my field. This is my expertise. I've been doing this since I was like 6 or 7 years old. I was an amateur boxer. I was an amateur wrestler for 10 years. I have no problem doing this. This is my criteria. This is what I want to do with my life. So again, if it comes down to that point, you think I'm scared, oh God, he made a video on me. Oh God, not a video. I'll just make a video back. And you know what the problem is? My video is going to have so much damning shit. Again, if he thinks what these people have released is damning, trust me. Trust me. Because again, this guy was my, I hate to say this word, friend for years. And what I know and what I'm keeping to myself right now, and I'm not deciding to share, will be shared. I am trying my best not to share it, especially when this guy has came out and thrown dirt and manure on my name for as long as he has. And this is my last opportunity I'm affording him before I have to go public with all this shit. I don't want to. I'd rather sit down and talk to him. But again, if he's not willing to sit down and talk to me, I'm not going to keep my mouth shut on bad behavior, especially when the one guy who keeps trying to act like the Gestapo in the community is the fucking worst of the... Actually, no, he's just like the Gestapo. Exactly like the Gestapo. He's the bad guy trying to be the police officer. Exactly like the fucking Gestapo. It's the bad guys trying to be the police officers. Sweet. Beautiful analogy.
Slime Beast, Spindling, I know you've been quiet for a little bit, but I figured I'd step in to give you an opportunity to say anything you want to say or add anything you want to add.
Spindling, you don't want to say anything, right? So I'll just go ahead. No, I'm kidding. Go ahead, Spindling.
I was just gonna say I don't really think I kind of see hypocrisy in the fact that we are going against a person who we initially don't like because he was selling Gore reactions, yet we platform a guy who, even if he apologized for it, he still made those reactions and then sold them on a Patreon uncensored. I kind of find hypocrisy in that personally.
I think that for me, in my own honest opinion, I'm willing to forgive and forget because it happened many years ago. He stopped doing it, and it's not like I had to go up to him and force him to stop. He just stopped. He realized it was wrong after being told by a large YouTuber to do it. Like, if you want to still be upset and mad about it, like, you know, that's the consequence of doing what he did.
I'm not mad. I just find hypocrisy in it.
I'm just saying you can still choose to say that that's bad and that you don't like ColdRaven because he did that. I'm not going to tell you not to do that. But at the same time, it's not like ColdRaven doesn't have anything to add to the conversation.
I'm not saying he doesn't, obviously.
I just don't.
I think a good way to approach it would be nobody has to forgive and forget anything that someone else does. You can use that in forming decisions going forward. You can use that judging someone and their character going forward, so on and so forth.
Right.
It's just a matter of, like, some of us here will...
You got some guy who's been selling shit for the last 5 to 6 years, refuses to admit to it, and he's now being called out by a guy who now realizes that it's wrong and stopped, and then can provide also additional context to how much money that actually generates.
Yeah, what I was going to say was some of us here will easily, more easily move past things than other people, and it's just a matter of,
Can I talk real quick? Because I like that. What's your name? I like that Spindling brought it up because essentially that is the point that I am glad that you are playing. Like, again, even if that is truly what you believe, that is a fair point to make. That is an incredibly fair point to make, and it is essentially in the idea of, devil's advocate. And again, if you feel a certain type of way about me, I can't tell you how to feel, but I will tell you this. Essentially, me and him did go down the same avenue, but he went right, I went left. I decided to come out and publicly accept responsibility. I then took an entire 1.5 years off of YouTube, shook my head on it, got my shit together, and I've even been told, yo, you've matured, you've changed, and you know what? I would like to move forward for that, but if you want to hold my feet to the fire, you have every right to. Because exactly what I did, I'm not looking back at that with a smile. It was bad. It was egregious. It's not good shit. And you know what? I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, Gore sells and, no. Because again, there's a difference between me and him. And the difference is I stopped, I accepted responsibility, I moved on, and I decided to choose a different path rather than fighting the truth and going against others and then proceeding to call everybody a pedophile who goes against me and then proceeding to do hundreds of egregious things, which I won't get into right now because, again, I'd rather keep those things private, but you already have an idea. So it's one of those things where, again, I see where you're coming from. You do bring up a valid point of hypocrisy, but there's a point where instead of reaching level 10 like he has, I stopped at level 2.
Well, I appreciate that. It's only just a thing in my case where I personally made the videos on Moth. I started on them way before this whole shit was going on, and it was about the Patreon reactions. So that's where it's my thoughts coming from. It's the fact that the reason why I even talked about Moth is because I had a problem with the Gore reactions, and I just find a tiny
was
problem
not
in,
doing.
you
Oh,
know.
okay. I was not doing Gore reactions. That's not what I was doing. Essentially, if you watch my YouTube channel, what it is I get what's called a mixtape. A mixtape is essentially hundreds of clips of anything that can range from gore to other inappropriate things. Now that's all compacted depending on the mixtape. Some are shorter and some are longer. Some are 100 clips, some are 300 clips. But mostly on my Patreon, it was FUBAR, but inside those I would show 4 to 5 clips to give people an idea, and I was not live reacting to them. It was me explaining them, which you would see that on my YouTube channel, but then I would have it posted to the side, and to the side again was never something too egregious. It was again like people running with the bulls and people getting trampled on by bulls, which again that is a little fucked up, and I will take that and I will wear that on my sleeve. And some of it was some stuff which it was let me put it this way. Not too much friendly content, but it was not gore. I will obviously, for the sake of TCR's audience, I will not be naming some of the stuff I put on there because it was 18 plus in a different aspect, and obviously I'm not sure how old TCR's audience. So I will
It's
respect
just best
that.
not to go into graphic
It
detail.
was
about
not
NSFL.
gore. Most 99% of it was not gore. It was
It's more of
other
the
things.
NSFW variety, from what I understand, than the NSFL variety.
And essentially, that's the thing. And again, even though it was nowhere near as egregious or to the degree, I still will wear that on my sleeve. And again, if you want to hold my feet to the fire, I have no problem with that because you are exactly, first off, it's your right to do that. It's your right as a person to do that. And second off, I don't look back at what I did with some sort of smile. No, I openly fucked up and I grew from it. But if you want to still sit down and be like, yo, I'm still not cool with you because you did some shit like that, that's completely fine. Again, that is your right, man. And I'm not going to go ahead and punch down on you and fucking be like, oh, fuck you. I'm not going to do that and go back and forth with you. I'll just say, yeah, you know what? He's right. I did fuck up. I did. I'm not going to sit there and go back and forth with you and try to sit there on a, high stool and tell you, oh, no, you're missing. No, you know exactly what I did. I did exactly what I did. I admit to it. I accept responsibility. I fucked up. And if you want to say I fucked up and that you don't respect me for that, that's 100% and you're right.
All right,
The
well,
funny thing
that's
is
all I have
here-
to say, anyone.
I'm sorry, again.
No, I was just saying, continue.
Oh, the funniest thing about this right now, beyond anything else and beyond any agreement or disagreement with anything said at all on either, in any regard, the funniest thing is imagine a world where Moth says anything like that remotely. Like, Moth would just be like, you're a pedophile, next. Like, he would never say he fucked up about anything ever, and it's like, it's just funny to imagine that.
I can agree that something's fucked up, and I can definitely agree that it like if this happened literally yesterday, that I'd also agree that it's bad. But I mean, like, a significant amount of time has passed, and it's quite clear that there is a level of remorse, and that the behavior has stopped. And if we can use that experience as a way to educate people, like I'm about ready to fucking do that.
Yeah,
I don't necessarily have to agree with what ColdRaven did. I don't necessarily have to say that he's my favorite person in the world just because he swapped sides or stopped doing what he was doing. But we can learn from mistakes made.
Yeah, and I mean, if let's say that like Moth had any integrity left and did anything that ColdRaven just did, like just really looked within himself and held himself to the centers in that aspect, actually talked to people who have been critical of him and stuff like that. If he had done any of that, I think we would have at least a little more respect for him than we do currently, which is barely any non-existent respect.
Nah, I mean, like, it started out as like being against the Gore reactions, and then it turned into everything on top of it. Like, it starts with the Gore, then it goes into the minors in the chat, and then it goes into the way that he acts around his minors in the chat, and then that goes into the way that he acts around his audience on Twitter, and then that goes into the way that he responds to critics, and then on top of that, we later learn that a lot of the information he presents in his videos are just straight up wrong. I'll give ColdRaven the credit of, at least when he did talk about this subject matter, he would have accurate information and, like, wouldn't lie for views.
Well, and like his whole idea of wanting like to do the Gore reactions is not to offend anyone here, but is pretty surface level. It's like it makes a lot of money and he likes to do it. For Moth, it's deeper than that. I'm fucked up and I want to show people that I'm just numb to it. And it's like, but why though?
Dude's like
And
saying
you
that
said,
he's going
I don't make gore
to.
reactions. Hold on, I do not make gore reactions. What I
well,
do
no,
is
I'm not saying that.
we
I'm
would
saying like the
consider
not safe for work stuff. Like,
okay,
you
okay,
know,
okay.
you make
Okay,
not safe for work stuff because it made money, right? And it's like that's how you promote your Patreon. You basically not copy Plague Moth, but Plague Moth like said this will make you a lot of money, so you just took his financial advice. And it's like you still have to be held to the standards to that, obviously. And nobody
100%.
has to forgive or forget for that. But if Plague Moth had ever like just held himself to the same accountability that you did, I don't think any of us would have this drama would have ended so fucking long ago. I think this whole thing would have ended if he just went, you know, I fucked
Yeah,
up.
nah. I mean, like, I spent a good 3 months ignoring Plague Moth after I made my new video. I made several videos. I made like two videos after where I just completely ignored the guy. And even while I was trying to do that, like, he's like, you know, making live streams, making tweets, getting repeatedly banned for violent threats. Like,
I mean, you're a constant conversation. You're a constant conversation in that Discord. You're a topic that comes up like all the fucking time at this point.
and yeah, it would be nice if he would knock it off, because then I could move on and then he could move on, and you know. But the thing is that my video stopped his sub growth, and he's very upset that my video is something that is a barrier to entry for people liking Plague Moth. So that video needs to go down by whatever means necessary. And if that video can't go down, then I need to be discredited in like every walk of life. Like,
yeah.
Like, I mean, like in my original video, I think I like told I told a story, or I showed that one clip of him saying, I want everyone at his work to know. I want his family to know. I want him to be homeless. I want him crying to mommy because he needs, because, you know, I want his income to be taken away. I want his coworkers at work to hate him. You know, like, I mean, like, if this
He
guy
said,
had his
like-
way.
Yeah, he said like that he hoped that the worst of the worst, that like he was basically wishing upon you what happened to him or whatever. Like he
Yeah.
hopes the worst thing ever happens to you,
And
like
for-
that you can't afford food next week, or like you're not sure where the money's gonna go to be able to live, like stuff like
Yeah.
that.
And
It was
I-
really fucked up. It was really Machiavellian. It was scary. I was like, bro, it's not that deep. Like, chill.
So Randy Kenville asked, "What's the context of creasing pasta on screen?" That is a screenshot from Moth's Discord server, where he is praising the work I have done. So Plague Moth, in his own words, thinks that I make pretty good videos, and that is the context. Plague Moth thinks that I'm very good at exposing people, just not him.
That's funny. Literally, when it's anybody else, right? When it's
Yeah.
anybody else, oh, you did a great job. When it's
I
me,
want to take an opportunity here. We're only going to be live for at maximum another 20-ish minutes. So I think ColdRaven definitely has said his piece. I appreciate you saying that. You're
Go
going to
off,
be
King.
he's going to still be free to talk again, but I definitely want to have an opportunity to have Spindling talk about what you've been dealing with since the start of this. Who you
Spindling.
are, and like, you know, all that stuff, because I mean, like, from what I understand, you're like not, and like you're not 18, and Moth has
In a couple of days, I will be, but yeah.
yeah.
This all started when I was 16, so.
So yeah, you were like a huge target of Moths, and I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like you deserve to have your opportunity to go off, King. Because
Go off,
Um,
King.
you know, this is gonna this whole stream is being made so that people making videos have an opportunity to clip shit if they need.
He's
to.
British. If you call him king, he's gonna get arrested. We can't do that to him.
King Charles.
With that being said, I'm gonna peace out because I gotta go dump ass, yo.
See you later, bro.
See you later,
Peace,
Cole.
yo. Yeah, have a good one.
I'm sorry. I'm very, very sorry to. I'm very sorry to postpone, but do you think he goes in and dumps ass and looks in the mirror and says, "I am shitting right now. I am shitting into the toilet, and this shit is the biggest shit that you ever fucking saw."
Yeah, I
Honestly,
do live rent free.
I have been waiting for that day for him to pop off for so fucking long.
I didn't mean to interrupt Spindling, so I just.
But, yeah,
I'll just
yeah,
say
yeah.
Spindling, please go off, please.
Do you want me to just go from start to beginning?
Yeah. Just give us your filtered, your
Let's
perspective.
go.
Unfiltered, you guys would get banned. So I first met Moth. Well, Matt heard of Moth from a friend, Parenti, who said he's not very nice. We should make a video on him. I think we were one of the first people to devise that. We went against him for the first time in like 2022, late 2022 maybe. And he called me Soldier Sam. He called me a pedophile.
Oh my God! He asserted that you were Soldier Sam.
Yeah. And then I think once he realized later on in the drama that I was 17, he stopped using that, and I made my video as well as making a few jokes about
What
him.
was the what was the first video called?
YouTube's most disturbing creator, Plague Moth, or something like that.
Yeah, I think I don't mean to interrupt, but I think we all
No
have
problem.
to kind of keep this in mind that Spindling was kind of the first one to go after him because he was the first one to go after him publicly on Twitter, which I didn't know that until Spindling told me. Like, yeah, I was tweeting at him way before like TCR got
Like
involved.
2022, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, that's fucking crazy.
I have to give benefit to a very close friend of mine, Parentiegon. She got almost every single piece of information that made Moth look as bad as possible, reasonably,
Parentiegon,
obviously.
we love you.
Yeah, the video we're looking at
So-
right now is Plague Moth, YouTube's most disturbing channel, with
Go watch it.
36,000 views. I do recommend giving that a watch, as that is a very good, very brief summary of what was going on at that time.
But yeah, I made that video.
Did we
I think
just
a
lose
little.
the call?
No, we're still
No, we're here. I think a little bit after that, I got a copyright strike. And then I got a flood of messages and a bunch of shit saying, "Oh, Plague Moth's called you a racist. He's called you a doxer, a sexual harasser," which I never mentioned because whatever. And all this shit. When the copyright strike came in, I got my friend messaged Turkey Tom, and Turkey Tom went, "I'm gonna stream about this." So you can see that the first part of Tom's stream is about me, funnily enough, where he essentially just says that Moth is completely in the wrong with me and that he's not allowed to copyright strike me, which Moth gives the really stupid, for lack of better terms, excuse that he doesn't know the copyright system, which I call fucking bullshit on. And then, so on and so forth. After that, I did a little bit of trolling and then realized that I should probably make a second video, which is probably the best video I've ever probably made in my life. But
The fall of is that the fall?
The fall of Plague Moth.
And
Yeah.
you said that's the worst one you've made.
The best one
Oh, best one.
in the series.
I will lie. I won't lie. That thumbnail is like really fucking fun. Man, 42,000 views with 1,000 subscribers. Man, you need to tell people to sub to you.
Yeah, I know, man.
Next time you make a video, just like let me do it. I'll be like,
subscribe to the channel.
I'll make a video of me like running into a brick wall, yelling subscribe, and I'll like hit the wall, face plant, and then like it'll just be like 10 minutes of me not moving on the ground. I mean, it works for Plague Moth, right? Like
it worked. Well, yeah, 16 long minute intro just to tell him that he's the most disgusting man on the internet. But yeah, that video came out. That did really well in a lot of communities. I obviously don't want to take the credit because you guys did good enough jobs of your own. I got known as the guy that took down Moth. I got known as the guy that did all this, and this. I got a pretty notable reception. I'm kind of respected, I guess. Moth can't stand me. He doesn't like talking about me, and when I'm mentioned, he calls me a Nazi. He calls me a doxer, and he calls me a pedophile, which he now retracted because I'm not even 18 yet. And he calls me a racist, which has affected my real life, I will say. I wish nothing but the worst for him, and I genuinely cannot stand him. And if I ever see him in real life, redacted.
Oh no, we might die.
Yeah.
He's not going to go to Europe.
He might
Give me a
die
break.
in
There's too much
Minecraft.
culture, dude.
And if I ever see him in real life, I'm digging straight down. Okay, we'll just say that. And you don't want to. Yeah, Fumorik is right. You don't want to hear me when I'm not monotone.
If he ever sees Moth in real life in Europe. He's going to feed him a traditional European breakfast.
Let's
it's going
just
to be
say
horrible.
he'll be losing his inventory.
God damn.
But to cap off my hate, no, I'm not a doxer. No, I'm not a racist. I'm just incredibly fucking based. So that's it. End of the show.
Okay. So basically, you got copyright struck. Did you get like privacy complaints on your videos?
Oh, I forgot that. Jesus. Yeah, 3 times.
yeah. Welcome. Okay, so 11 for Slime Beast, 3 for Spin, 5 for me. The question is, Lazy, how many privacy complaints did you get, or was it just a 1?
Lazy got a couple.
Sorry, I only got the 1, and the reason why it was because part 1 of the Cult of Plague Moth used a singular photo of Moth's face that was edited into animation that I did in the actual video itself.
Yeah.
So-
So we're looking at 5, 11, 3. So 5, 6, 7, 8.
21?
And then, yeah, we're almost we're almost at 20 privacy complaints. Oh, wait a minute. No, we are at 20 privacy complaints because he did 5 just on the video. He filed more against the first live stream I ever did. He privacy complained the shit out of that, so I had to delete it because I wasn't about to go through and like try to censor shit.
Dude, that was the same thing with me. Like, most of my stuff, like, the moment my first video came down, I was like, okay, I gotta private everything so that he doesn't strike anything else. Because I knew he did. Like, I knew it was gonna come, it was gonna be coming. I was just like, okay, he already got the 1, I gotta private everything else. Because I'm like, I'm not taking privacy, like, I don't know if you can get a community guideline strike for privacy. I'm assuming you probably can if you get enough of them. I'm like, I'm not risking that shit. Does that mean that he's won and that like my videos are going to be gone forever? No, because they're still accessible on my Patreon. But once I find some way to get them off my Patreon, and I find some way to make it clear to YouTube that this is not in violation of anyone's privacy, I'm going to put a fucking mega upload. It's going to be a mega edit of all of my fucking videos. It will be 12 hours long. I will not give a shit.
I've talked to a YouTube rep, by the way. They're working on your situation.
Please, thank you. I really appreciate it because I'm a little guy and I don't get any representation.
I don't either.
So-
All right, you know the way that I'm talking to
but,
my
like,
YouTube rep is that I'm talking to a guy who knows a rep.
Okay, well, the point is, you
So
got
there-
a lot. You're
you-
a lot
you
more
are-
clo-
you're the
closer
fourth-
than I am.
You're the 4th link in this telephone chain. All right.
Awesome.
By the way, we should point out that the when we're counting up 20 privacy complaints, that's not counting ones from last year over the course of months that he was filing, that were all overturned as well.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You also have a shitload more because Slime Beast doesn't have a larger channel like mine or Lazy's, and he makes like more videos than we do. He thinks that he can just file whatever he wants and no one's gonna hear about it.
It's
So
yeah,
I
mean,
think we've had so Lazy, you've explained your shit.
sorta, yeah.
Spindling explained their shit. Slime Beast, would you like to end us off tonight?
Please give us a good plague moth striking, if you will. Oh, you're one of your famous little giddies.
Plague Moth, you better watch your back, because I'm going to come up behind you and braid your hair. And it's going to be braided poorly. You're never going to get it out. You're going to have to shave your head. Just like you had to shave your beard to get your food service job wherever it is, because they don't allow people with beards. When you made fun of TCR, you said, that creepy reading has a fast food job. Ha 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 ha. You were incorrect. You were being an asshole. But now you have a fucking fast food job. We know it's true because you had to shave your beard off. There's no way you did that on purpose. You look like a fucking eggplant. Like the eggplant emoji, but like the white version. Like when they give you the little option, do you want a yellow thumbs up, a brown thumbs up, a white thumbs up? You look like that, but the fucking eggplant. What I don't know what else. How do you want me to end this? You want me to sing or something?
Like,
I was
like a
just gonna
14-year-old.
say, if you want to talk about the struggles you've had keeping your content up and like the level of, because like we've talked before, and you would tell me about how he would like literally claim you in his live stream and you uploading a clip that you
Yeah.
physically are in.
Right.
How
I
did that
uploaded a
go?
clip. I went on his live stream. This is way back. He had a live stream where he was like, "We're going to have a live stream where that's too deep a voice for him. We're going to have a live stream where victims
too
of
deep.
Slime Beast can come forward. So victims, we want you to come forward on this stream." And so of course nobody came forward. So I was like, "I'll talk to you on the stream." And so he gets me on the stream. He turns me way the fuck down and is just yelling and yelling and yelling, so nobody can hear anything. He's cutting off. He's muting, different shit like that. Hangs up on me. But in that stream, he says to me, "Have you ever seen Daisy's Destruction?" And I say, "No, thank God." And he says, "But have you seen it?" So he's like not even fucking listening. Says that a couple times, and I said, "No, but you have seen it." And he goes, "Okay, sure." Like, why would you ever sarcastically say that yes, you saw that? But so I put that clip up on my channel, and I'm in that clip. It's me and Plague Moth. I put the clip of me and him talking on my channel, 11 seconds, and he copyright claims it. Like, what the absolute fuck?
Yeah, he files a DMCA. I'm imagining you like privacy so you counterclaimed it, I imagine, right?
Yeah, I just said, to YouTube, I said this is an 11-second clip I appear in, and shit like that, and they overturned it pretty soon after. But that was where Plague Moth put his own name up on YouTube because he filed the strike, filed it under his name, didn't use Moth Media USA, didn't use, a company, didn't use anything like that, used his real name. And so when the video was taken down for a brief period of time, YouTube's website said this video is gone due to a privacy complaint from Dylan Morgan. So that plus many other places his name has been shown, all the way back predating any of this, is like you're putting your own stuff out there. You're putting your own face in your videos. You're putting your own videos on your channel. You're putting your own name on strikes. You're putting your, all these things out there, and when anybody uses it, you try to claim it? Like, how does that make any sense? There is no way.
The same fair use doctrine that this guy uses to react to children dying is the same shit that he will ignore if it means that he can silence criticism.
And the thing is, this may be too much of a compliment to Plague Moth. No one is as stupid as he pretends to be. He is not as stupid as he pretends to be. And that even may be too much of a compliment because it's saying he's not that stupid. There is absolutely no way when he says, "I didn't know I was not supposed to do that," or you can't upload videos of my live streams. You can't upload my face in your video. He does that himself.
He uploaded my face
on his
in
videos.
my live. He uploaded my face for my live stream. So he's
nobody
like,
is as stupid as he pretends to be.
Yeah, he's absolutely a piece of shit. By the way, I do recommend you guys go over to Spindling's channel, especially if you
Subscribe to Spindling.
The most hated games on the internet is the one video I want you guys to go watch if you are going to watch them. This guy did a really good video on it. I'm in it, and I do think that it deserves more than 2,000 views.
Go subscribe to Spindling.
Seriously, that man, you've been through so much, and the fact that that hasn't translated to anything is a little upsetting to me because the Moth videos are fire, and then the last one you made was fire. Just I don't know what's happening in the algorithm for him to get buried.
Fell off. I'm washed.
You're washed at 1.42K. That's
It's
the peak of my career. It's all
I need to start a
downhill.
new channel. I need to rebrand. I need to do reaction videos.
Mm-hmm.
Go where the money's at.
How much is my rent if I need help? When have I indicated that I need help paying rent? I have a normal job.
I'd pay for TCR's rent with the one singular dollar I got from the Moth videos.
I don't know why people are saying hey, do you need help? I mean, there's a rough patch that I went through when I was transitioning jobs, and I went into a situation where I was working my new job, but I got paid after my rent was due, and because of that, I would have had to have paid an extra $100, and I was only $100 below. So I made a GoFundMe hey, can I get some help? Because I didn't want to get overcharged because of shitty schedule alignment, and you guys kind of came through and made it so that I could afford rent for that 1 month, and then I've been just fine ever since then. I don't make GoFundMes regularly, and I prefer to pay for everything myself if I physically can. And so far, I have been, and have been for quite some time.
Good for you. So
Um,
proud of you. You did it.
but yeah, this isn't about my income, because that's never what it was about. This is about Moth selling uncensored gore and him being mad that he got called out, so now he brings up my income.
All right. Yeah. Well,
Which
'cause
is, again, like,
that's that's what
it's
this has
not
always
about,
been about, hasn't it, TCR? That's what this has always been about. You've always just been super jealous that he made more money than you.
I mean, I'm
Obviously.
a little upset that if, like, he goes on unchecked, we could all lose our income, because, you know, he could pull a Logan Paul.
True.
So, like, in that respect, yeah, it is a little bit about income, but it's like more of the wider YouTube community.
We don't want another
to...
adpocalypse, basically, because of this fucking dumbass.
Yeah, like, if I can afford rent and pay my bills and play video games and talk about them, then, you know, I'm a pretty happy camper. But I'm not gonna, I legitimately do not care. Like, some of my best friends make significantly more money than me, and that's not really a point of contention. I don't ask for money from my YouTube buddies. I don't, like, do any, like, again, it's just deflection from the main point.
Yeah, of course. Like, if this whole thing was just all about money, I mean, it would just.
I would probably be
away from
bringing
what
it
we're
up
really
more.
talking about.
I'd probably be bringing it up more.
Right, yeah. If the money was really the real intention, I think you'd probably make it a little more obvious. But, like, and that's not, like, even an insult to you, like, but it's more so just, like, it'd be just more of, like, another moral debate we're having, right? We're talking about things that are strictly against TOS, that we can, like, nab somebody on, like, this is against our terms of service, and I guess you can call us a fucking, what, like, a goody two-shoes that follows the fucking rules, but, like...
By the way, if you guys are interested, this is Lazy Bedhead's channel. You know, I do recommend giving a subscribe, taking a look. There's some pretty funny videos on here outside of the Moth stuff. My favorite being
watch anything outside of the Moth stuff, because it's not even there anymore.
Yeah, the Urban Spook video is probably what I'd recommend as a introduction.
Aw, I like that video. I'm glad you're introducing the good one.
Who's Lazy Bedhead?
What? And
honestly, yeah, who is Lazy Bedhead? That's some fucking weird channel.
And if you were gonna go look for a good Slime Beast video to watch, I would recommend I'm Okay. This one right here, I'm Okay. You know, it's just him being okay.
Yeah,
all of my videos are incredibly serious. None of them have any
humor in them at all.
Meme shit going on. Nothing.
Exactly.
Yeah, but yeah, no, Slime Beast, he's been a good guy. He archives a lot of stuff. But yeah, to put a little cap on our little live stream here, I ran for an hour longer than I wanted to, but it took me an hour late to get started, so I guess that's my fault.
It makes up for it. It's totally fine.
Yeah, I just want to say that I'd rather not, like, make more videos on, like, Plague Moth. I would rather move on with my life, and, you know, I said what I had to say. I got rid of the minors in his Discord. I got him to stop selling uncensored content through his Discord on Patreon. I essentially, you know, got him to make the reforms I wanted. And the Amber Alert video, he finally age restricted after I had to endure him calling me a pedophile for about 3 to 4 months. So the fact that I was able to get the baby slapping video age restricted so that people aren't just getting autoplayed into that, the fact that I got rid of the minors, and the fact that, you know, I don't have to worry about my income being taken away from me because someone like Vice or The Verge or the New York Times makes a video talking about how this guy was openly selling uncensored content to, you know, anyone that had $5. You know, I already did what I wanted to do. At this point, the only reason why I'm still talking is because I get repeated legal threats sent to my channel. Because I wake up, I go to work, and then I get a notification from YouTube that the same motherfucker had sent me a privacy complaint on the same video for the 5th fucking time. And, you know, these privacy complaints could be as vague as from 10 to 59.59, which would include my disclaimer for fair use, and everything in between. And then it'll be something as every instance where Moth's face is shown, or every instance where Andrea is shown, or every instance where a screenshot is shown, or a screenshot of Kiwi Farms front page from Google Images. Because I didn't go on Kiwi Farms to screenshot their front page, I used a old screenshot as representative footage. But again, all this stuff gets repeatedly privacy complainted. And I would think that someone who watches, someone who makes reaction content, someone who literally it is their job to talk about the daily lives of other people who died horribly, would understand another person's right to freedom of speech and the ability to talk, even if you don't necessarily agree with what they have to say. But as we all learned, Plague Moth is rules for thee and not for me. In this situation, though, Plague Moth believes that freedom of speech only applies to him and nobody else. So, yeah, my video is going to stay up. I'm going to fight for it to keep staying up. And he can keep privacy complaining it all he wants, but I'm already talking with a YouTube rep right now. And I've already been told by the systems, by the automated system, that if this is abuse, he could potentially lose his channel. Repeatedly filing DMCAs and repeatedly filing privacy complaints that you know are bullshit is eventually going to end in only one way: termination. And it's you're either going to get sued or you're going to get terminated. But if you keep on this behavior, that's going to be an inevitability instead of a possibility. That's all I have to say.
I think that there's one thing that needs to be emphasized is like good things did come out of this. You know, this wasn't just like a directionless attempt to try to like bring down another content creator for no reason. Like good things did come out of this.
Yeah,
you know, minors are safe now, thank God.
I've been DM'd by so many people saying I'm grateful that you got Plague Moth to ban me from the server, because they were in a situation that was a oppressive cult-like atmosphere, where if you said even one thing out of line, the guy and his wife would just like come down at you like a pack of bricks. And when you're talking about high schoolers who don't quite understand that they do have the right to leave, you find them trying to conform to the rules as opposed to realizing that the system is messed up in the first place.
Yeah, and like the only reason that we even bother talking about this now, even though we've kind of accomplished everything we've wanted out of this, we got the minors out of there, they're safe, you know.
I mean, from the perspective of the videos that I've made, they've achieved their stated goal. Now, I would like for Plague Moth to be an adult about it, because he got caught with his hand in the cookie jar. And instead of being like, oh man, you know, my hand got caught in a cookie jar. I'm sorry, guys. I shouldn't have put my hands in the cookie jar. Instead, he's like, if you say that my hand is currently in the cookie jar, you're a pedophile. And it's just like, it's like really lame. And I don't necessarily I don't think that Moth is a pedophile. I don't think that he's anything other than a malicious liar who repeatedly abuses his platform and weaponizes his audience, which is just fucking stupid.
Yeah, I mean, all that's really left within my soul after all of this is just being tired and angry, and I just want there to be peace and not for me to be so tired and angry all the time. Because I'm in my like early 20s. I don't have time to grow crow's feet in my eyes because I have to deal with a 30-year-old man from fucking who knows where telling me that my boyfriend or me are protecting pedophiles, and he is a pedophile, whatever the fuck, or that my friends here are pedophiles.
I don't even know why he keeps doing it too, because like
I don't know either.
Because like I don't get, whenever he does a live stream, I don't get hate. He does, the people who like watch those have either already been banned or don't give enough of a shit to like come over to me. So like the only person who's saying it is him, and I'll tune in for like 2 seconds, be like, same shit, and I'll tune out. Because, you know, ever since he lost his 20,000 follower Twitter, ever since he lost his, you know, like ever since he's basically been shadow banned on YouTube, he hasn't been able to reach a new audience, and the people that are there aren't ever going to be convinced. I guess those people have already been banned on all of my social media, so I just don't see what they say. He's not achieving anything. He's not convincing anybody. And if you look at the likes to dislike ratio on a lot of his stuff, yeah, you see that new people aren't buying it either.
Yeah, and I mean, I hope that brings you some peace, you know, that like whatever tactics that he's trying doesn't actually work.
I mean, I got peace from that, but what I don't get peace from is the repeated legal claims against the channel. I just wish he would play fair.
No, I get that totally, absolutely. Like, you know, and I mean, if our intended goal was just to get the minors out of there and we did that, then we could all move on. But since he's doing the legal complaints, if the next step in whatever we have to do is going to be termination for repeated violations against their YouTube policies, then I guess that has to be where it has to go. Not that any of us want to terminate each other and like go after each other like that, but like,
oh,
I mean,
yeah.
all that's left in my heart is fucking rage, dude, and I'm ready for it to all crumble down.
And again, I'll leave it at this note right here. For those of you who are telling me to sue him, I understand the sentiment and would totally be willing to defend myself in a court of law. But in order to sue him, you need to have something called a lawyer. And finding a lawyer is hard. For example, the first question you have to ask yourself is, what jurisdiction would this fall into? And furthermore, where does Plague Moth live so I could find someone in his jurisdiction so that way we can prosecute him without needing to go through the extra issues of trying to get him extradited to Michigan over a civil case, which is likely not what would happen. So,
Yeah,
and
that's
then from that front,
anyway.
I need to find people who are across the country and are willing to represent me for potentially no profit because the guy is saying that he's judgment proof. I've been looking for a lawyer, and I would be happy to find one and pay one. And if anyone knows how to refer me to a good lawyer that could give me an idea of what my legal options are, I'll gladly make a GoFundMe and get started with the process. But I need to find someone first, and I work 40 hours a week at a retail job on top of doing all the YouTube stuff.
Like, before it's taken out of context by Moth and Andrea, it should be pointed out we have talked to lawyers, both myself and TCR. You know, we have talked to people. You know, this isn't like
it's difficult to get someone who's willing to commit for the long haul.
Yeah, I personally paid someone, and paid for like a consulting fee, and they actually, this is like something you never fucking hear from lawyers. They actually refunded my consultation fee. If you can imagine getting money from a lawyer, because they said this is literally, we literally have looked at this and we don't think he has anything to give you.
Yeah, no. Like some lawyers
like,
do.
We don't want this case. And it's like,
I know that.
Jesus.
I know that some lawyers do free consultations, but a lot of lawyers will also tell you to pay $10,000 up front.
Yeah, and I have the email and I have the PayPal receipt.
And I have tried reaching out to people like the Eagle team, which is Legal Eagle's like YouTube lawyer team, and they just straight up told me that they can't help me and that they won't help me find anybody. I've contacted the YouTuber Rakita Law, who told me that he was interested in helping me find some representation, and then he started ghosting me. So I have tried, and I have reached out, and I'm currently speaking with a lawyer and going through that. I got a meeting at some point in the near future, but that's where we've been at right now, and I am willing to stop looking for one if this guy just fucking knocks it off and drops it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if he just moves on, then I don't have to keep finding a lawyer because then my channel isn't, like, constantly at risk.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, he and Andrea will go to the absolute wall. They'll go into court on the day saying TCR and Slimebeast aren't really suing us. They're scamming their users and they don't really have any lawsuit and they don't have any lawyer. They'll be saying that on the courthouse steps into their fucking phones. They, from the beginning of this forward, their entire story, their narrative has been, these lawsuits are fake as a way to bilk money from viewers. And it's like, that is not how you react to somebody going through the process of suing you, because that is like the absolute most assured way to make sure you get sued, because you're not willing to concede anything. You're not even willing to engage in reality. You're not even willing to admit that there is even any problem. And it's like, I don't understand this process, this thought process, because it reminds me so much of like the news media in certain countries where they're like, there are no tanks rolling into the city, everything's fine.
Yeah,
It's like, there is no
Right.
lawsuit,
the guy,
everything's fine.
In his live stream the other day, he was saying that that I was like going around threatening him with a lawsuit, and the answer is I'm not really threatening him. I'm just telling him that one will happen if this keeps escalating, and it has been doing nothing but escalate. And it's like, what am I supposed to do other than like figure out a legal remedy, even if it's like a no contact order between the both of us? You know, that's what we got to do. But this right here isn't sustainable. Him just calling me a pedophile
anyway at this
is,
point.
you know. But long story short, you know, I want him to stop. I'd rather not have to go through the process of fighting a legal battle, but I gladly will if that's what it means to get anything done. Because, like, I mean, like, I can't be good for his audience to constantly just have to keep rewatching the same video over and over and over again about how TCR and Lazy are evil, followed by multiple streams where he just plays Fortnite while bitching about us. You know,
Dude,
it's just like
his audience, like, if you even look in his Discord for a couple minutes, they're sick of it too. They don't want to fucking talk about this shit anymore. It's like always like Andrew and Plague Moth making memes or whatever, and it'll be like this small, like 2 or 3 people that'd be like, haha, this is really funny, let's shit on them some more. And then there's like the other outsiders like, dude, can we just not talk about this? Like, we're over this. And it's like, take the hint, you know what I mean?
But yeah, I am doing everything in my power. It's just like I said, I work a full-time job, you know. I don't have the resources to or necessarily the time to sit there all day every day cold calling lawyers. And I have been cold calling some. I've got some meetings coming up, but it's always like, hey, can I talk to you? This is the situation I'm in, followed by someone saying, yep, that lawyer will call you back on this day with a consultation. And then I gotta wait like a week to hear, oh, the lawyer heard, the lawyer read over the thing and decided that they do not want to call you back. And I mean, like, I've even said, like, hey, if you could just, like, help me find someone. I don't know. The legal system in America is weird. And if someone's judgment proof, you know, or if someone, like, clearly is not going to be able to give you the kind of yields that you want. Because, like, a lot of these defamation lawyers go after, like, corporate sources. You know, when Coca-Cola slanders Pepsi and you want to get, like, a huge payout from that. Like, that's what those guys who specialize in that field typically go after. It's not like one person makes fun of another person across state lines, because that's where things get fuzzy. And I don't exactly have the largest bank account in the world to just hyper fund that on my own. So once I figure out the fees, find a lawyer who's willing to agree to it, the next step is to be figuring out how much money I need to raise to even start the damn thing. And that's when the GoFundMe would come in. But right now we are in the phase of figuring out how much it's going to cost and, you know, finding an actual representation that would be cool with what we're doing. And it's not like I've had an opportunity to try a bunch of different lawyers, just a couple that I've had the opportunity to call and speak with briefly, followed by the YouTube lawyers who have completely, like, just ignored it.
Yeah.
And so
It was really
is now
weird.
over.
It was really weird for Rakita Law, because he was like really gun-ho about helping me, and then he just ghosted me. So
Weird.
it was weird.
Well, that
But
was the stream, everybody. It's now over.
it is.
Yay.
Wrap it up. Nothing else.
I'm gonna go to sleep.
All right. Anyway,
All right.
I
Plague
appreciate
Moth to stalk.
I appreciate
Do
you
what
guys
Plague
showing
Moth's
up.
dad. Do what Plague Moth's dad wouldn't do, unfortunately. Let's wrap it up.
Yeah.
Pull out.
Appreciate you guys for coming in, and yeah, my next video is going to be Disturbing Games Iceberg. We're about halfway done with the scripting as of right now. We'll
Still on my
provide you
topic.
updated. Oh, by the way, Spindling, you're open to voicing that.
Let's go.
Yep.
I'm famous.
You're a good boy. I'm gonna give you a shout out. I want you to get more
God.
attention. You make some good shit, man. Straight up, nothing but love from me. Subscribe to Spindling. Subscribe to fucking Spindling right now. Goodbye. End the stream. Have a